says it's on. I just reset it again. Definitely had it. And are we getting sound now? I just rebooted the sound.
Yeah, now.
Oh, now it's people saying, now, oh, the audio was on. Maybe you just had to, I had to reset or something with YouTube.
Oh, weird.
Anyway, it's game day. Ray's going to have to edit that part out later.
Should we start again?
Nah, we'll just keep going. It's game day.
Hooray!
Moon Knight is here, as I was saying.
No, John, I would rather you restart from the beginning, please.
No, we're not going to start from the beginning. But yes, ever since I was saying, years ago, when I sat in that auditorium in the Anaheim Convention Center at D23, and Kevin Feige came out on stage and mentioned a bunch of projects that were coming out, and he surprised the world, nay, shocked the world, when he said they're doing a Moon Knight series. And now here it is.
I was watching on the internet.
Were they streaming that?
Something that's how I found out. You know, maybe after the fact or something. I don't know. That's when I first saw it and lost. I took a frame grab and lost my shite.
I mean, it's here tonight. We are 14 hours away. T-minus 14 hours from Moon Knight coming out. Very excited to see that. Anyway, guys, of course, I am joined by the guy probably most emotionally moved by the upcoming Moon Knight. We've got Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today, sir?
I am doing well. You know, I'm very curious about the show, especially after reading the trade reviews. Interesting. Like we've talked about, an amalgamation of various iterations of Moon Knight. I'm very curious to see where it's all going. Especially, there's a reason why they only showed critics the first 4 episodes, because I'm sure shenanigans happen in 5 and 6 that I would imagine reveal a lot more than have been revealed in the first 4 episodes. And I'm curious. I think I know where it's going, and I'm excited, John.
You know, I got offered the first 4 episodes the other day. Opted against it. I just enjoy the week to week midnight screening.
Hurt Rob like this?
Well, Rob's going to have to just put up with it. I mean, it's the thing. They're offered to me, not to Rob. So, I mean, I just figured I just enjoy the week to week too much for these things. And I'm very excited about this.
All I can say is I'm about this close.
You're 14 hours away from watching episode 1.
No, I'm about this close from walking over there again and recreating yesterday's.
Of course, Chris Carr is here too, everybody. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I am still optimistic about the Sonic film, despite getting some mixed reviews this morning on things. I'm still pumped about that movie. I believe in it.
We're going to talk about that in a bit. Of course, joining you guys in the live chat today, as always, and here in the room with us is Ray Ora. Ray, how you doing?
Yes, I am here.
You rewatched, by the way, you know, we've been talking about how today is game day for Moon Knight, but I think it was last week was episode 1
Well, for Halo? Yeah.
And this week is episode 2 for Halo?
Yeah, but you
know.
watch
it?
I don't know. I don't need to rewatch episode 2. Those who haven't watched it, watch it. But it's, to me, it wasn't a rewatchable episode. It was important, but it wasn't. It's not a rewatchable episode like episode 1 was. So I'll skip this one, and then I can't wait for episode 3.
Yeah, really looking forward to episode 3. We can start doing that again. And guys, it is awesome having you here today, joining us as we talk about our favorite things in the world. Here's how today's show is going to go. In the first part of the show, we're going to take some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to move on to your live comments and questions. If you're watching live, and only if you're watching live, and you want to get in a comment or question for us to read after the main topics are done, go ahead and use the super chat feature in the YouTube chat, and we'll get to those once we're done. Then in the third part of the show, we'll be arrested for harassment, drunk and disorderly, and then maybe bailed out later.
The music is on now.
Oh, is it on again? I'm sorry, that happened when we had to reset everything. That happened when we reset everything. Anyway.
It's falling apart, John.
The whole show, it's going to be one of those days, guys. It's a Tuesday. So, with all that down and said, let's get on to an off the top here, shall we? And our first off the top is this. You know, while Ray was really looking forward to Halo, and Rob's obviously looking forward himself to some Moon Knight, our own Chris Carr has been very much looking forward to Sonic 2. I think we've all been looking forward to Sonic 2 quite a bit. I think the trailers have been great. Rob, not as much. I think the trailers have looked great. I thought the first one was delightful, a lot of fun. Looking forward to this. Well, the reviews have started to trickle out for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And they're not great.
But not terrible.
But not bad. Not great, but not bad. Right now, it is sitting at a 60%. With only 10 reviews out, although those reviews are from some of the bigger outlets. With only 10 reviews out, which means the majority of the people watching it like it. Here's some of the things that are being said about Sonic 2 right now. So we've got Little White Lies writes, a cold money-making machine and nothing more.
As if
Variety.
that's a bad thing.
As if that's a bad thing. Peter from Variety writes, at 2 hours and change, Sonic 2 wears out its welcome long before it turns into yet another phone-it-in franchise entry. The Wrap and The Hollywood Reporter both liked it. They gave it positive reviews. The Wrap says, as a director, Fowler understands the task at hand and fulfills that proficiently with some mild sentimentality, juvenile silliness, and colorful action. The Hollywood Reporter also gave it something of a positive review, writing, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 will appeal to family audiences, even if it doesn't break new ground, elaborating the franchise's sprawling universe of intersecting characters and plot lines. That's interesting. Empire Magazine didn't like it so much. They wrote Sonic's second outing is little more than a half-baked... Let me try this again. Sonic's second outing is little more than a half-baked, half-term distraction tool, though Jim Carrey's outrageously committed performance nearly saves the day. I like hearing that. The Guardian writes, there's not very much to say about it other than it's mildly amusing and reasonably competently assembled. Okay.
Ooh.
Sounds like descriptions of my dating life. Anyway, so, and it goes on and on. Nothing over the top negative.
Yeah.
Like nothing like this is the worst piece of garbage we've ever seen. Nothing over the top positive. Mixed. I gotta say I'm surprised. Mm-hmm. Because that first one was so damn charming. I think like I said, everything I've seen from the second one has looked to me really good so far. And because you're hearing these reactions, these responses, you've been looking forward to this movie more than the rest of us. What are you thinking about it?
I mean, everyone is obviously entitled to their opinion, but it's not getting horrible reviews, right? This is the worst cutscene I've ever seen in my life kind of review. So there's that. The thing is, though, I'm not expecting Sonic to break new ground. I'm not expecting this movie to change my life. I'm expecting it to be fun and give me more video game Easter eggs, dive more into the Sonic universe, show me some other characters, give me Tails with the original voice actress. These are all things that I want. And, not every critic is looking for that in a film. And sometimes, and I say this as all of us in this room, sometimes critics get it wrong.
Now, I should point out, a lot of these are the same critics who love the first Sonic.
That's very true.
So, I don't know. I'm finding myself needing to temper my expectations a bit here. Rob, you're hearing the responses, reactions. What are your expectations like right now? I gotta mention something to you. Your dramatic pauses before you start talking wreaks havoc on our podcast listeners. They always think something went wrong when the podcast stopped. So again, what do you think? What's your expectation?
Well, this is what I think, John. I think this is no.
You sound like me.
I guess I wasn't expecting Godfather Part 2 from Sonic, and I think judging from the trailers, we saw the action. To me, it looked delightful. It looked like what a Sonic sequel should deliver. And if Jim Carrey is good, I guess that my expectations, I don't like that I say this, are not as high as other things that I'm interested in seeing. So my bar is a little lower on a Sonic movie. I don't mean to offend you.
That's okay.
Chris.
No.
But hey, it seems okay, doesn't it?
I'll take it. I'll take that. That's
Ray,
fine.
what about you? Have you been excited? I know you like the first one. You like the first one. Have you been looking forward to the second one?
I have to wait to see it, but everyone's waiting for my review because I like everything. So if I don't like this, then it's bad. You know what? It doesn't take a lot to entertain me, so I'm gonna check this out. I mean, I have better feelings about this movie than I do with Morbius.
Even though it's over 2 hours long?
It is?
It says it's 2 hours and change, so probably 2:05 or something like that. It's not like Batman 3 hours
Come on,
long,
Ray.
Ray.
Come
You
on.
can do it,
Here
buddy.
comes Sleepy Ray. Nah, it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll just take the front row again.
It just gives me more time to eat a whole bunch of chili dogs.
I'm just sad I had to learn about dramatic pauses talking about Sonic.
You would be surprised how many times I get emails saying, I always think your podcast's broken because you throw it over to Rob and then there's like 8 seconds of silence.
But it's the best for me because that's when I cut it and put the
That's when you
ad
know when
in.
to make the edit.
Put the ad in. There's such a long pause. I could throw an ad in there.
Wow, thanks, guys. I'm trying to make it, trying to bring some drama to the
trying to be very
proceedings.
thoughtful with your discussion, Rob.
It's true. It's true.
Well, guys, the question is for all of you, what do you think? The reviews right now. Now, granted, there's only like 12 reviews out. Now, they are from some of the major outlets. But normally, I don't really start taking the rating very seriously until we get to like 40 or 50 reviews. We'll have to see what turns out from this. I'm a little disappointed to hear what I'm hearing so far because I really like the first one, but we'll see how it turns out. Question is for you. Where are your expectations like right now for the upcoming Sonic 2? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. Okay, guys. With that down, let's move into our main topics here today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the John Campea Show? Well, it's really rather simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
This comes from Aaron. John, I'm feeling the need for speed. Wondering if you saw the newest trailer for Top Gun Maverick. It's more than I could have hoped for. Admiral Iceman? The aerial combat stuff looks absolutely fantastic. The tension between Maverick and Goose's son felt heartbreaking, and it just brought back all the feels from the original film. I can't wait to see this. What did you think of the new trailer?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And yeah, is it 2019? We got a Top Gun 2 coming? Yeah, a brand new trailer for Top Gun 2 just came out. And here's the really cool thing about it. As I was watching, I'm like, this isn't a new trailer. Then I realized this is what they showed us. This is one of the things they showed us at CinemaCon last year. And so that's why it looked familiar to me. This trailer is wonderful. I love this trailer. Like, you go back to the original Top Gun, which is awesome in all of its ways. And the aerial combat and all that kind of stuff they were able to do back then was mind-blowing at the time. Today, it still looks good. Like, it holds up today, but it's not like edgier seat kind of, like, teeth-cutting kind of action, right? You look at the stuff in this, it's like, oh my God, this looks amazing. And I love the fact that Goose's son's call sign is Rooster. I love that. I love that. Miles Teller looks great. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, Miles Teller might be the most underrated actor in Hollywood today. I mean, there's a few actors who deserve a lot more recognition. Ben Foster, guys like that, Chiwetel Ejiofor. But there's a lot of people who don't think highly of Miles Teller as an actor, and you're wrong. I mean, it's all subjective, of course, but I'm saying you're wrong. This dude's amazing. And I think the way he's going to play off Tom Cruise in this is going to be great. You got a thought?
Dude, I was going to say, first of all, I don't know why it popped in my head. Ben Foster is starring in a movie, and I forget what it's called. I just saw the trailer for it, where he plays a boxer who was in a concentration camp during World War II.
Oh, yeah, they showed that. They showed that at CinemaCon as well.
Oh, that trailer's coming out. Ben Foster looks incredible in that.
Well, he's always great.
But second of all, I really love that Miles Teller has the Anthony Edwards Goose mustache in this as well.
Which is great, because I remember when I first saw the trailer and I saw him in, I'm like, that stash doesn't do Miles Teller any favors. But then when you remember who's his dad, Goose, and he's got that same thing, then it completely, totally works for me. But listen, it has been a long, weird journey for Top Gun. Let's go back right now and visit the timeline of Top Gun, shall we? Top Gun 2 Maverick was first officially announced in 2017 with an original release date of July 12th, 2019. We're just a couple months away from the 3 years when it's supposed to come out. Then it got delayed to June 26th, 2020. So they bumped it about a year to 2020. Then, in a rare move, they actually moved it up a couple of days after that to June 24th, 2020. Then after that, it got delayed again from June 24th to December 23rd, almost 6 months, 2020. Then they delayed it again to July 2nd, 2021. Then it was delayed again to November 19th, 2021, and which shortly after CinemaCon, we found out that they delayed it again to May 27th, 2022. And I think I feel safe in saying it's actually going to happen this time. This time's the time. Yeah, not that July 2019 or June 2020 or December 2020 or July 2021 or November 20. May 27th is happening. We're really close. and it is almost here. As a sign of confidence in that, they, of course, put out the new trailer. Chris, you had a chance to see the new trailer for Top Gun Maverick. What did you think about it? And is it actually going to come out now?
I think it is actually going to come out. I think it's a real movie, you guys.
It's a real movie.
I gotta eat a little crow. This was a great trailer, and I don't have the nostalgia factor. I'm not in love with that first Top Gun movie. I love
What?
Val Kilmer in it. I love everything that Val Kilmer's in, though. It's just not one of those movies for me. You know, Sonic's not for you, Rob. Top Gun's not really for me. But this trailer
Are you
looks
comparing
amazing.
the two? Comparing and contrasting Sonic with Top Gun?
Yeah, they're totally on the same level.
Just because they
right?
both have a need for speed does not mean they're on the
That's
same
true.
level.
Sonic is faster.
It's the exact same plot, right? I mean,
Rob, you had a chance to see the trailer. What did you think?
Dude, I thought it looked great. I mean, what I love, first of all, the aerial combat sequences in this, just the flying alone looks amazing. Looks amazing because they're now able, 35 years later, they're able to put cameras, or even more than that, where they couldn't before. So the technology's increased, and we're seeing aerial combat the way it's never been photographed for a feature film like this before. So it looks spectacular. I like the storyline. You know, I like that there's some men on a mission element to it, putting the fighter pilots together. They need the training to go do this. They're the best of the best, but they still need to get, because they don't have combat experience. So they bring in Maverick, who doesn't want to be a teacher. You know,
I'm not a teacher, sir.
I'm not a teacher. You know, it ticks all my boxes. Now the question I have, John, is Meg Ryan going to have a cameo?
No, I don't believe she is.
Is Goose's wife? Come on.
I mean, it would
Miles
be cool if
Teller's
she
mom.
did. Yeah, it would be cool if she did. I heard that she doesn't. I hope they rectify that. The other thing about it too is that in this, you know, pursuant to what Tom Cruise has done with his career the last 15 years, Tom Cruise actually does some of the flying in this movie,
I know.
which he did not do in the original, as far as I understand. So,
But he was in the plane. There were other people flying.
Oh, was that what was
Yeah.
happening? So, but apparently he actually does some of the flying.
Yeah.
In this.
Part of the time it took was that he was learning how to fly jets. He's a pilot himself, but he learned how to fly
Right.
these jets.
Ray, did you see the trailer? for
Yeah, I
this?
did.
What did you think about it?
There was not enough air stuff in there for me. What they had, I did like. I just wish all the arguments take place in the air while they're flying. No. I'm being completely honest. Like, if him and Goose or his son is going to argue, they should be in the same cockpit, and Tom Cruise should turn around and start arguing with him. You know, like everything with
I'll
Jennifer.
pull this car over
Yeah.
right now.
Dangerous.
I mean, I just wanted more air stuff. What they showed was cool, but I want it to be like super high velocity, crazy, like
There's
All over the
some
place.
super high velocity.
yeah, but
craziness.
there's a lot of talking too.
What
in
if we
this.
find out they're flying out to attack the moon? Does that change
That's
things?
not possible.
oh man.
Does that change
No. But I do want to see like at least half of it in the air. At least half this.
Oh, for sure.
This is 2 hour, right? A 2 hour movie, probably.
I honestly don't
There's
know
at
what the
least got to be
runtime is.
50% of it. Like,
I'm going to go out on a limb and guess we're going to be closer to 15%. I don't think 50% of the movie will take place in the air.
there'll be a lot
You
of
got a
action
good 10% of it will be happening on the beach playing volleyball. A good 12% singing random songs in the bar.
which is fine. That's
which
part
is
of it.
fine. Then you're going to have a good 8 to 9% of Tom Cruise trying to woo Jennifer Connelly. Then you're going to have about 18% of Tom Cruise showing he has a disdain for authority. And then at some point, you're going to
they'll
be
be in the
left
air.
with some stuff to
be
take
nice.
place in the air.
I just like you said, Admiral Kazansky. I love,
That's right.
I love that.
Admiral Iceman.
So excited
Admiral
about
Iceman.
it. I'm really glad you brought up Miles Teller too, because I think this is a year where it is going to be kind of this make or break moment in his career, because he has this movie and we've got The Offer coming out. And
Yeah.
I really, really think this is a year where people are going to take note of him and go, okay, this is a great actor.
Either that or he's going to sink Paramount as a studio.
There-
Well,
there's
except
two
for Miles
options.
Teller, yeah, but
That's what I mean, because
Oh.
he's in The Offer. They're
Right,
both
that is also
Paramount,
Paramount.
projects.
by the
Those
way,
Tom Cruise.
CJT in the live chat is also reminding me, he got a lot, about 5 to 6% of the movie for Tom Cruise to a soundtrack in the background, just barreling down a highway on his motorcycle.
Yes.
True.
So
Which
that's
we
got to be
see
a
in
good
the trailer.
Yes, which is also in the trailer. A good 5 to 6 to 7% of the movie has got to be in there of that. So I personally, I thought the trailer was fantastic.
Are we going to hear Berlin's Take My Breath Away?
No, I
You're
don't
going to
think
hear
so.
a cover of it.
There's got to be a cover, right?
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong. In one of the trailers, were they not singing "Love and Feeling" in the bar again? Did they not, or was it a new song?
I don't
they
know
were
if,
singing in the bar this
if
time?
the same song.
I don't know either. I think if you're going to repeat a song from the first one, that's the one to do. That's the one to do.
But-
Because it was already an old classic when they did it in the original Top Gun.
Yeah, but it's been like 36 years, so maybe they'll sing a great 80s tune instead.
I don't know.
They'll all sing Highway to the Danger Zone.
Or 99 Luftballons.
EDM version.
You never, yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think of this trailer for Top Gun Maverick? I think it looks fantastic. And listen, they showed us, I've mentioned before, they 13, 14, 15, I can't remember exactly how much. They showed us a chunk of the movie at CinemaCon last year when it was still supposed to come out in November, which is why they showed us a chunk of the movie. And it looks amazing. I cannot wait to see this in its full entirety. How are you guys feeling about it? Whatever your thoughts are, guys, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Guys, we want to take just a minute and thank the sponsor of this video, Masterclass. Masterclass is offering classes on a wide variety of topics, like all taught by world-class masters at the absolute tops of their field. Each class is broken down out into individual video lessons, usually like around 10 minutes or so long, and members can explore at their own pace. And each class is supported by downloadable materials, lessons, recipes, or more that you can all find at masterclass.com. For example, are you into streaming? Well, you can take the Building Your Streaming class taught by ninjas so you can sharpen up on your streaming skills. Or if you're interested in independent filmmaking, take independent filmmaking from Academy Award winner Spike Lee. You want to get classes on how to direct? How about from Ron Howard? The very first one I personally looked up and got into was Business Leadership by the great Big Papa Iger, Bob Iger himself. And I was absolutely enthralled with it. I love every single minute of this stuff. If any of those apply to you, you need to try Masterclass. So I highly recommend that you check it out. Get unlimited access to every Masterclass. And as a John Campea Show viewer, you get 15% off an annual membership. Go to masterclass.com/Campea. Once again, to get 15% off your annual membership, go to masterclass.com/Campea. And a special thanks to Masterclass for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
I got really distracted. Someone in the chats asked, why does Bob Iger look so hot?
It's a handsome man, Papa Iger.
Iger in the masterclass. Okay. Alan Renshaw writes in, I just saw an article on the Hollywood Reporter that the Academy's officers of the Board of Governors called for an emergency meeting on Will Smith. It seems like a suspension of his membership is likely, but what do you think could come of this meeting?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. And of course, we talked at length yesterday about what went on with Will Smith and things like that. Quick summary, there is no excusing what he did, period, end of sentence. You can't justify what he did. But I don't think seeing somebody in their worst, I don't think we should judge people based on their worst moment. And I don't think we should, I think the punishment should fit the crime. This shouldn't be a life sentence, whatever. And no, I don't believe they should strip his Oscar away from him. His Oscar was given to him for his acting. That hasn't changed. They shouldn't take that away from him. But what will happen? That's become the question. Because he was allowed to stay in the theater after it happened. And I read a really interesting article today on the Hollywood Reporter about why he was allowed to stay. It was because they couldn't figure out what to do fast enough. Because he literally was 10 minutes later accepting the award for Best Actor. As some people in the theater didn't even know if what happened was real or not. Security was confused. The Board of Governors was trying to meet quickly to decide what to do about it. But by that point, it was too late. And so they may have escorted him out of the building. They may not have. Ultimately, we won't know. But they say the reason nothing happens because they literally didn't have enough time to figure out what to do about it. So that was fine.
I buy that.
Yeah, I buy it too. I think that makes sense. So last night, Will Smith issued an apology on his social media, which some people say, social media is not good enough. Listen, Will Smith's got a real big reach with his social media.
62 million people on Instagram.
That is pretty much as big of a megaphone you can have for saying something publicly. And Will Smith got on his social media publicly, made an apology to Chris Rock specifically. He said, I was out of line, I was wrong, blah, blah. It was a good apology, all that kind of stuff. The question is now what happens with Will Smith? And that's what's being discussed. As we talked about yesterday, one of the things the Academy had been discussing is possibly stripping him of his Oscar, which I personally don't think they should do. Possible suspension, possible expulsion from the Academy, other things. Well, it looks like it's going to be as most things should be. It looks like it's going to be something somewhere in the middle. This comes from the folks over at Screen Rant who write the following. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the Academy is not expected to take back Smith's Best Actor Oscar, which I think is good, but is considering some type of sanction, including a potential suspension of his Academy membership. Members are split on whether to revoke the Oscar, while others support the suspension only. However, a new statement from the Academy condemns Smith's actions during the broadcast and says that they have begun a formal review of the incident and that they will explore further action and consequences following their bylaws, standards of conduct, and most importantly, California law. All right. So we've discussed ad nauseum about what happened at the Oscars. Now the question becomes what happens next. It sounds like there are a bunch of people in the Academy who do want to take away his Oscar, but they're probably going to be outvoted, which again, I think is a good thing.
Yeah.
It was voted on before the Oscar ceremony happened. They had deemed him the best lead actor of the year. He's got his award. What he did, right or wrong, well, it's wrong. There's no right or wrong. What he did, as wrong as it was, does not negate why he was given his award and for what, and they shouldn't take it away, in my opinion. So it sounds like they're not going to do that. However, rules were broken. Laws were broken, and they've got to figure out, and you can't just let it slide. So they're going to do something about it. Personally, for me, and I mentioned this, Rob, on our mailbag episode that we did yesterday. By the way, if you guys haven't checked out mailbag, go and check out our mailbag video. But to me, what I believe would probably be most appropriate is like a 2 to 4 year suspension. And within the bylaws of the Academy, what they have the power to do, if you are suspended from the Academy, you are also suspended from eligibility, which could mean that for a period of 2 to 4 years, they say, number one, Will Smith, who is a member of the Academy, his membership is suspended, but they also say, it doesn't matter if you turn in the greatest performance of all time next year, you are ineligible for 3 years. Some people will say that's kind of a slap on the wrist. I suggest that that is a significant punishment. I think it's significant. I don't think it's minor. When you're a guy like Will Smith and you're at the point in your career right now where you are focused on legacy now. Will Smith has already had a fully successful Hollywood career. That's done. Now he's focused on legacy. He's got his Academy Award. You know he would love to add another one to that. Once you've had a little taste of that, you want more. Just look at Tom Brady. 1 Super Bowl ring wasn't enough. Hell, 7 isn't enough. But he wants more, right? And I would propose that while some people would be saying it's light and it's just a slap on the wrist, if you put in place like a 3-year suspension where he is also ruled ineligible for any Academy consideration, I propose that is a serious blow. And I propose that is a significant and, let's say, reasonable response to it. Chris Rock himself has declined to press charges, so that's out of the way. I think if the Academy does this, it, number one, makes the Academy look like we take our rules seriously and we take how you act at our events seriously. Number two, I don't think it overdoes it. I reject the call by some people that think Will Smith should just now be canceled forever. I think that's going beyond the scope of what actually happened. And I think it would be a fair discipline. I think it would be fair discipline for what they could do here. Anyway, Rob, you and I discussed this yesterday. Now that it looks like we've moved beyond what happened to now what happens next, what do you think the Academy will end up doing? And what would you suggest doing as a result of what happened?
Well, I think, look, obviously it's clear that something has to be done. And I think looking to California law is a good place to start, and that's what they're doing. I mean, it was, without a doubt, probably one of the most witnessed assaults in television history. So I think looking at what the law says makes it more impartial. It takes the emotion out of it and says, look, this is what you did. It was obviously it happened, and we have to base our whatever our punitive whatever the judgment's going to be, whatever kind of judgment it is. And I think that the law is a great place to start, but also, like you said, some kind of a suspension. He egregiously broke the bylaws or whatever, the rules of that organization. Full stop. You know, it's academic. You can't. There's nowhere to go from there, and the organization itself has been compelled to act. They have to act. They have to show that this can never happen again. The real question that I have is, and I think we're going to get that answer pretty quickly, is do you cast Will Smith during this time? Do you put him in another movie? And I wonder, I mean, from the Academy, does that mean that we're not going to see another Will Smith movie for 3 years? Is that right? And if we are, is it right for Will Smith to be cast in an Oscar caliber movie? And does that mean the movie itself is denied from, if he stars in another film, does that movie get removed from consideration from Oscar contention? Because of all the other people working on the film, they're not Will Smith and they shouldn't be penalized, should they?
Well, I don't think, number one,
I don't
think
know.
a suspension from the Academy does not mean a suspension from Hollywood.
No, of course not.
Right.
But that's the thing. Do you cast him?
Yeah, so you can cast him. I think...
But will people?
I think they will. I think they will. I think especially if, it will actually help, I think, if the Academy hands down some kind of discipline. If the Academy takes action and hands down some kind of discipline, I think it furthers the narrative that, okay, he got what he had coming to him, and now we can move on from other things. I would guess, too, that if he does appear, like, say, in a movie next year, and it's an Oscar caliber film, I have a feeling that it would be only he that would become ineligible for winning anything. Like, I don't think they would make the cinematographer is ineligible to win because it's a movie with Will Smith. I don't think the Academy would be looking to punish studios that work with him. I think they'd just be suspending him from their own body. So at least that's how I think they would handle it.
Dude, I want to greenlight a remake of Martin Brest's Midnight Run starring Chris Rock and Will Smith. I greenlight that tomorrow.
All right. Anyway, Chris, we talked a lot about this situation yesterday. Now we've moved on to the next page.
Yeah.
What happens next? What shouldn't? Same question to Rob. What do you think the Academy will do? And if you're on that Academy, what do you suggest they do?
Well, first of all, thank you to everyone who sent me DMs yesterday, thanking us for the discussion and everything. It was really, really sweet of you guys to continue engaging like that. I really, really appreciate all of you. I do think a suspension is probably the way the Academy is going to move here, because removal of an Oscar, I do think, is out of the question. Because like we talked about yesterday, a lot more people are going to have to lose their Oscars then. Harvey Weinstein still has his. Roman Polanski, Mel Gibson. I mean, all these people who've had problematic things or egregious things, crimes that they have gone to prison for or tried to evade, have their Oscars still. So I think that's completely out of the question. I do think suspending him from the Academy is the more likely situation here. What's then interesting about that is if he is in films like Rob brought up, are other unions and other award ceremonies going to also take him out of the running? Is SAG not going to recognize him? Would the Golden Globes not recognize him? Would the BAFTAs not recognize him? So this opens up another conversation with all these other organizations about how they're going to move forward in regards to Will Smith. I do think he still has tremendous amount of castability here. We've seen how the court of public opinion can definitely affect someone being in films, not only their box office return, but just being cast in them in general. But I do think that because Will has finally owned up to what he did and talked about it, still think it should have happened in the speech, but I'm glad that he issued an apology. I'm very, very proud of him for that. I think that's what the bigger person always does, is they take responsibility for their actions, no matter the explanation or the why of why something happens in the first place. I'm so glad he condoned the violence that he, inflicted. But I do think removing the Oscar is just out of bounds, especially with how many other people have been completely problematic and far worse, in my opinion.
And there's something else to keep in mind here too, when considering what do you do about Will Smith here. Unlike some other people in the business, we're going to talk about one a little bit later. Will Smith does not have a track record of this.
No.
Right? Will Smith, for decades in his career, has been very look, I've got my opinion about some of his business philosophies about, refusing to be in some movies unless they put his family in the movies too, whatever. It's like, I can like or not like that, but that doesn't speak to his character as a person. Like, everything we have heard from people who have worked with Will Smith over decades is this is a clean guy. He's a good guy. He is a nice guy. He tries to do right by people. He has never caused a problem. Now granted, like the one of the real unfortunate things about the whole Oscar incident was that for his pride he decided that the whole Academy, my entire industry that's here to celebrate the movies and is supposed to be good for our night, I'm going to soil it because of my pride. My pride's more important. I'm more important than the Oscars. I'm more important than everybody else in this room. I'm more important than the entire industry, and I'm going to do this. But that has not been his track record. So I think you really got to look at this too when thinking what needs to be done about it. You got to look at it as this is a first offense, guys. It's a first offense. He got online. He apologized. Chris Rock's not punitive. Yes, something's got to be done, but I think it's got to be measured. And I think a 3-year suspension, 4 years. But you raise a great question, Chris, about, because, you know, if with the unions like SAG and DAG and everything else, a lot of times the unions will work in unison. Like if one union says something is persona non grata, then the other unions will follow suit. That is a great question about if the Oscars do put some kind of sanction on Will Smith right now, will others follow suit? Will the Oscars even ask the others to follow suit? I personally don't think they will. But, you know, Chris Rock is a member of SAG.
Yeah.
I mean, so Will Smith actually assaulted another member of SAG. So I don't think they will, but it's a really good question.
I think it's a really good question. And, you know, I didn't even think about it till you brought it up. But I think in a way it has to be, they either have to do, I do think SAG has to acknowledge something. They have to come out with some statement and say, look, we have to acknowledge this. We have 2 of our members, you know, and there was this incident in full view of everybody. What do we have to say? Do we have a policy when one of our members assaults another member?
But then does the fact that it happened on TV, like what happens when 2 SAG members get in a scuffle at McDonald's, but it's not on TV? Do they suspend those members? Like it wasn't a SAG event. It was the Oscars, totally separate from SAG.
But I mean, it's in a way, I'm sure that Chris Rock was probably getting paid. So was he getting paid SAG wages? You know, like he could be, he might have actually been on a job, a SAG sanctioned job.
It was. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then there's another thing that needs to be addressed as well, because he was in the workplace. He got assaulted at work
by another SAG member.
I mean, if that were to happen on a film set, I mean, insurance. Yeah. I mean, it's bad.
So I don't know. Maybe they imply, or maybe they just wait to see what the Academy does and say we'll honor whatever the Academy does and say 3 years.
But I think even
there too.
But I would love to see. I don't know. Now I want to look into SAG bylaws. Like if you're on a job and you're assaulted, there's got to be other protocols that kick in that hasn't even been addressed. I haven't seen anyone.
Might be.
I haven't seen anyone bring that up anywhere.
Well,
in the case
I mean,
this.
we'll have to see what happens there. But I think the bottom line is here, it doesn't look like he's going to get his Oscar taken away, and that's a good thing. He shouldn't have his Oscar taken away.
No, I don't think he should either.
It looks like something will be done, which they must do something. But it looks like I hope it's not too severe because, again, first-time offender, he's apologized. It wasn't a career-ending thing. It's not like once he hit Chris Rock, he then got him in full mount and started raining down elbows on him or anything.
No, it's true. But I'm just from a procedural standpoint, now I'm fascinated by what the actual response would be as far as bylaws or business is concerned, because I just want to know, like, this is an interesting could this be an interesting legal issue or a rules issue in terms of SAG? I want to find out. Maybe not at all. Now you've got me curious. I want to go read the
But here's the
SAG
thing.
have.
I'm going to guess if Chris Rock doesn't file a complaint with SAG about it, then probably nothing will be done.
That's usually
I think
where
it will
things
probably
stop.
I think it'll have to be predicated on Chris Rock going to the union and doing that.
But
and I think if he doesn't, it ends there. But listen, we got to move on. We've run out of time here. The question is for you guys. What do you think about this and Will Smith stuff? Do you think like a 3-year suspension would be too little? Do you think maybe it should be more? Do you think it shouldn't be anything at all? What did you think about his apology? I thought it was quite a good apology that he issued online. Whatever you guys are thinking about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This comes from Brian Meadows. Welp, the self-fulfilling prophecy is coming to fruition.
No!
Morbius's Embargo drops on Thursday at 8 p.m. Showtimes will have already started hours before in some parts of the country, so this does not look good for the movie. Please tell us how badly this bodes for the film. Thanks and love you guys.
Speaking of the Oscars, 2023 Academy Award winner Morbius. I'm telling you, I still believe in Morbius. I'm still excited for Morbius. At least I'm trying to convince myself to be. I've been excited for Morbius for years now. Really excited for this movie. I've loved the clips. I've loved the trailers. I think this thing looks great. But my God, what we have been hearing has not been, let's say, confidence boosting about this movie. And, you know, we heard some negative reactions coming from some people who saw an early fan screening, all that kind of stuff. I've been waiting for the review embargo to drop. Well, now we know when the review embargo is. Now, contrary to what our viewer wrote in, the review embargo does not lift at Thursday at 8 p.m. The review embargo lifts on a not that much better Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is 24 hours before, let me rephrase, 23 hours before the first screening, because that's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm seeing it 4 p.m. Thursday Pacific Standard Time. So it's only 23 hours. I have always said in my career, when a movie lifts its review embargo one day before it comes out, it does not automatically mean the movie is bad. It does not automatically mean the movie is bad. But what it does mean is that there's a big red flag. Because it means that the studio does not want the word going out about what critics think about this movie. They want to cut it as close as possible to that. And again, I am not saying Morbius is bad. I have not seen it. For all I know, this is going to be the single greatest movie, nay, human experience that we have ever had. That this movie will single-handedly elevate the human species to the next level of evolution. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be weeping and crying and joy.
Someone needs to take that shovel away from John because he's digging a bigger hole as he speaks.
I believe. Listen, I'll tell you what. This is not a good sign. This is not a good sign. Like, at all. Because now, here's the thing. When you lift your review embargo, what you are telling the world is two things. When you lift the review embargo one day before the movie comes out, you're telling the world, number one, we do not believe in our movie. It's just that. If you believed in it, you would let it come out 3 days before it comes out, a week before it comes out, something like that. You tell the world that we believe in this movie because we believe the people we elect to go see this thing early are going to enjoy it and have a good time, and they're going to spread the good word. That's what you're telling the world. But instead, they're telling the world, hey, everybody, just so you know, we have no faith in this movie. We've been trying to feed off the excess believability that John Campea has had for our film. We've been trying to feed off that positive energy, but it's not enough because we don't believe in it. And if the studio don't believe in the movie, why the hell should we? The second thing that it tells us is the active opposite of it. It tells us that the studio has an active belief that if we do let word get out about this prior to when people will be committed to buying their tickets, people will not want to watch our movie. Not only is it saying that we don't have a lot of faith in it, it's saying we actively have zero faith in it. We actually believe it will hurt us if we let people know how our movie is. Now, again, there have been a few very, very rare exceptions to this rule. There have been a couple of times in my life when I remember a review embargo dropping one day before the movie comes out, and the movies actually ended up being pretty good, but that's like 1%. And despite all of my hopes and all of my dreams and all of my freaking Tinkerbell fairy dust believing on Once Upon a Star, I just can't believe this is going to be one of those 1% moments. This is not looking good, even though I am still excited to go see it. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this now. The review embargo does not lift until 23 hours before the movie starts playing publicly for people. What does this tell you? What's your response to that?
Just pretend you just heard a 10-second sigh from me right now. Okay, I find this very upsetting because, you know, Sony's had a pretty good track record in the last year with their franchise properties.
Yeah, despite what people say, they really have.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was pretty wonderful.
I thought it was wonderful. I loved it.
And Spider-Man No Way Home. I don't understand, like, nowadays when studios are making tentpole movies, which they've been doing for decades now, Here you got a vampire movie. You've got comic books to draw from. You've got Marvel. If you need the Marvel brain trust, you can call up Kevin Feige. Like, there's a problem with this movie. I don't know how a movie like this gets effed up, to be quite honest. I don't understand it. The way studio pictures are being made, the way they were made 30 years ago when I worked at Warner Brothers, executives would have to watch dailies, and if there was a problem, they could, not that they didn't make bad movies, but there was a lot of different kinds of movies being made back then. But this is a vampire movie, John. It's a vampire movie. How do you mess up a vampire movie like this with Jared Leto in it? I mean,
how did they mess up Blade 3?
Well, they had problems with your main star in that movie. You had an untried director in David Goyer who was way out of its depth. But this really pains me, John, because like you, I had real high hopes for this movie, and the trailers look really cool to me. And if for nothing else, I'll watch vampires the way I eat pizza or watch good pornography. I will just watch it if it's, how can you screw up a vampire movie? These are things that are just, even when they're bad, they're supposed to be good.
You watch pizza you eat pizza like you watch pornography?
Well, they're just things that that you consume.
It's
I
still
will
a pizza
consume
at the end of the
things.
day?
Yeah, if it's not good, you'll still kind of watch it, right?
I would say fixer-upper, but to each their own.
I mean, I would just say, I've watched vampire movies that are good, they're bad, they're indifferent. But this is a big budget vampire movie with an Oscar-winning star, with a beautiful cinematography, and it's a Marvel-derived project.
And great source material.
Great source material. And I'm like, how do you... And you have an audience. Maybe not you, but there's an audience of people here that were really excited about this movie. You and me being one of them. Maybe Ray O'Hare, if you knew it was 90 minutes. I don't know.
They said it's an hour 45 minutes. Now it's interesting.
That's in your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. I'm going to see it 3 times now.
There you go. I just, how do you, this kind of thing, it always pains me when a genre movie, a science fiction, fantasy, or horror film I'm looking forward to gets this kind of press and gets this, because like you, it ain't good. You can spin this all you want. Coming out a day before, or lifting the embargo a day before, that's like when you go to the doctor to find out if your checkup was okay, and the doctor sits you down before he gives you the diagnosis. It ain't good. It ain't good.
Chris, I know you have had the highest of hopes for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You've been super excited. Like I practically got to tell you to stop wearing all that Morbius memorabilia you're bringing into the office.
I have been selling out all the Hot Topics, just getting all those T-shirts.
What are you surprised to hear about the late review embargo?
No.
What does that tell you?
I'm not surprised at all. This movie looks like a dumpster fire. The image you just had up too, just with the eyes and the echolocation-y bobble, it looks so bad. It doesn't look good.
You're mean.
That's a poster, though. Come on.
I'm mean?
That's just
You're
a
mean.
poster.
I think it looks bad. Next time you talk about Star Trek, we'll talk about mean, Robert. All right? I just didn't think this looks good. And frankly, I've said it before, I'm not a really big fan of Jared Leto. I don't think his work is consistent enough for the type of acting he does. He is a very, very big proponent of being a method actor. And I'm from the Robert Pattinson school of thought on that. I never hear about people using method when they're being lovely human beings. It's always to justify them being kind of a dick on set. And if your work isn't every single time Daniel Day-Lewis caliber, I don't want to hear about how you're a method actor. You're in a band, Jared. Enjoy your band. Enjoy your weekend getaways that you do with that band.
Your Camp Mars cult
Camp Mars
with adoring women.
This just never looked very great to me. And hopefully I'll go in and I will be changed. Maybe I'll go, oh my gosh, that actually was a movie. But that 1% number you were talking about, John, I'm with you on that. Movies typically, with this late of a review embargo, do not do well.
Ray, I got to ask you, runtime aside, which is very much a Ray kind of runtime, where's your expectation level been? And now that we're hearing all the things we're hearing, are you expecting to like this movie when you go into it?
I don't think so. I was just thinking about it, and it sounds like, like a boxer who finally gets that title fight. You know what I mean? But he has the fight before, the tune-up fight. It sounds like Sony having the success from Venom and the Spider-Man movies. They announced Kraven. It sounds like they're looking at that end game of Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six or whatever they have planned, and are just going to rush through these movies and just put them out there so they could have that payoff at the end. Do you understand
See,
what I'm saying?
that's a common theory, but I don't buy that theory because for you to have for Morbius wouldn't be part of any Sinister Six because they're playing him as an anti-hero. Venom can't be part of a Sinister Six because he sees himself as a hero.
Or just whatever at the end.
Yeah, but a lot of people seem to think that. I don't know. See, one of the complaints I've not heard about Morbius was that it felt rushed. I've not heard one thing about. I'm just hearing it's bad.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing it's bad because it's rushed. I'm not because after the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which totally felt like they were just trying to throw in as much as they could to set up a Sinister Six movie. I think Sony's become very sensitive to that. Mm-hmm. And among all the mistakes it sounds like they're making, that might not be one of them. At least I hope it's not one of them.
But you said that they said all the Spider-Man connections didn't make sense. Like a lot of people are saying.
Again, I haven't seen it.
Okay,
but I've heard some
I guess we can't really say
some
that.
unconfirmed reports are saying that that's the case. So I don't know. We'll find out.
I do think this does not bode well for Kraven the Hunter or that. What other movie? Someone said there was
Oh,
another.
they're doing a Madam Web movie.
Madam Web.
You're kidding
No,
me.
isn't that cool?
But I don't think it bodes well for their future standalone villain movies because the Venom movies are unto themselves. This would be a lesser known character than Venom, and if this fails, do they move forward with Kraven the Hunter and wait, what was it?
No, seriously though, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. Because
they?
it would be 1 out of 3. It would be 1 out of 3 that kind of fails. So yes, you do not do what Warner Brothers used to do. You don't have a plan, start running with a plan, and then when one thing goes wrong, go, oh my God, we got to change our plan.
Well, I don't think that, but it's not necessarily that they're gonna. I think the problem is if this movie fails. Look, Venom is its own thing. Venom is different than Morbius, Kraven, and Madam Web. Morbius, Kraven, and Madam Web are far down the tier of villainous characters as far as Marvel is concerned. Venom is a marquee character. Venom has had his own book, and a long-running book and many series that have been successful that people love. Whereas Morbius, Kraven, and Madam Web are all kind of supporting characters. And there's been a Morbius the Living Vampire book, but it's not as well known. I just wonder if maybe this strategy, they're not going to change their plans, but they can always rethink their plans. And how are they going to do it?
They will. I don't think they will. But the one thing they need to do, is, I tried to be optimistic about this.
Me too. Yeah.
But they need to really stop and think about who they're hiring to put these movies together. The screenwriter of this movie, and again, before when we covered this, I tried to be positive. I really did about them screen. But the reality is this. The screenwriter they hired, here are his credits. Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, Power Rangers, which frankly I kind of liked the 2017 Power Rangers, but it did not blow things up and do great things. And Gods of Egypt.
Oh.
Yes.
But this is his credit list. Dracula Untold, The Last Witch Hunter, Gods of Egypt, and Power Rangers. Now, granted, he also wrote 7 episodes of that Netflix series Lost in Space, which isn't bad.
No, I liked it.
But if you're Sony, don't get me wrong, we've seen lots of writers who write some bad stuff, but they also got a bunch of good stuff, right? Bad stuff, good stuff.
Like
What's your
Akiva
pitch?
Goldsman.
Yes, that's fine. But when you have a property like Morbius and you get a writer in front of you and the only thing that's on their resume is Dracula Untold, Last Witch Hunter, Power Rangers for a lot of people, and Gods of fucking Egypt.
Hey.
All due respect,
Hey.
Rob, I know you like it. But at what point do you go, maybe we really need to reassess who we hire to put these movies together? Because I think a lot of people, in the midst of all my optimism, a lot of people were trying to warn me saying, dude, look who's writing this thing. How can you be optimistic? I'm just am. But I think if they're going to change anything, they got to change their approach to who they hire to put these things together.
Well, you know what? I think beyond that, they need to have, I was on a show once with Stan Lee, and we were talking about his perception of how a comic book movie should be made. This was in the mid-90s. And I said to him, we were on this debate kind of, and I said, the person who plays Peter Parker is the heart and soul of the character of Spider-Man. And even Stan Lee said, no, he can be in a costume. It can be any actor. And I said, no, it can't. This is Stan Lee. It was a show on the Sci-Fi Channel called Sci-Fi Vortex. But I think if you look at the credits of the person they hired to write this movie, they're not treating this film as highbrow. It's pulpy. It's not. If you're going to spend $150 million, even $100 million, I don't know how much they spent on this movie. You got to hire Steve Zalian. You don't hire somebody who wrote Power Rangers and Dracula Untold. You write somebody who you find somebody who has written an Oscar-winning period piece.
Or an exceptional vampire story.
You've got to write somebody, you've got to get a writer that'll take this material and turn it into something greater than its origins. And that's how you make great genre fare. It's like when Nicholas Meyer, they brought him in to direct Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And he didn't know much about Star Trek. But he went back to the literary roots. He read Horatio Hornblower because that's where Roddenberry said that a lot of the inspiration came from. And he's like, oh, I get it. So this is an action adventure in the high seas. And he made basically a nautical thriller about two giant sailing ships going after each other, like Master and Commander was. That's what you have to do with these movies, man. And if you don't look at them as being that, it's just a Marvel vampire movie, you're never going to win. And that's what it looks like has happened to this. And it's too bad.
And I'd even be fine if they got somebody who wrote lower brow stuff, but that turned out successful and good and that the audience enjoyed. If you can get somebody that can do that, that's great. But the fact that they just went with a writer who has never delivered anything that has pleased the audience, that's concerning, and I let my optimism try to overlook that and go, no, it's still gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Danny Espinosa has done some pretty good work as the director, so it'll be fine. But if you're starting with a rotten script, it's hard to. And again, I don't want to make too many big bold proclamations because I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm going to see it in a couple of days.
We see it.
Yeah,
and guess what, John? It still might be pretty good.
We might walk out of it saying, screw what everybody else says. This movie's great.
Chris Carr does not believe that.
I don't. But I might come out of there like, wow, that was actually decent.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. Morbius is not letting the reviewers give out their reviews of this movie until 23 hours before it starts playing publicly. Red flag for you. Maybe you still have a lot of belief in the film. I'm trying to. Maybe you can convince me. Whatever you guys are thinking, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Hey guys, we want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Athletic Greens. Now, I started taking Athletic Greens because I don't eat enough vegetables, and I was looking for a way to make up for that deficit in my diet of those vitamins and minerals that I really need in my system, and thank goodness I found Athletic Greens, and I literally take it every morning. You see, with one scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, all the things. And my wife got onto it, and now she absolutely loves it. You know, tons of people take some kind of multivitamin, and it's important to choose one with high-quality ingredients that your body will actually absorb, like Athletic Greens. So right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with a convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the flu and cold season. It's just one scoop and a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Campea. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/Campea to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. And thank you to the folks at the Athletic Greens for being a sponsor of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 4 here, shall we? Chris, what is our 4th main topic today?
This is a much happier topic for us, and this is coming from Entangled Chris. Hey, John, sorry to interrupt, but Rob, I wanted to ask you something. Do you know what today is? It's game day!
Game day!
Moon Knight will be released at midnight. It's also being reported that Disney Plus UK has decided to increase the show's age rating from 12 plus to 16 plus, equivalent to TVMA, making it the first 16 plus rated MCU show to be released in the UK.
Yeah, all right.
It is no surprise that UK's rating system is much more strict. It does still indicate that Moon Knight's more brutal nature. John, what do you think of this update, and is Rob hyperventilating from excitement?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in. All right, we are now at 13 hours. 12 hours, 59 minutes is the official countdown clock now to the launch of Moon Knight, a show we have been very excited about, particularly Robert Meyer Burnett, and everything we have heard coming out from this has been fantastic. The early reactions were great. The reviews are solid. A lot of things we heard. Now, we've heard for a while that this was a particularly brutal, for a Disney Plus show, it's a particularly brutal show. And definitely, they said, pushing the limits of what Disney Plus will do within, without making it R-rated material sort of stuff. So I'm not completely surprised at all to hear from some people that in certain countries that may have stricter guidelines about stuff, that they're saying that this is going to be rated adult or mature, whatever, a TVMA. Not surprised to hear it, but not that it really makes any kind of difference here. Quite frankly, harder R does not make a movie better.
No.
It can be more appropriate for the type of subject matter you're dealing with, but it doesn't mean it's going to make it better. If it's a bad movie, it's a bad movie. It's a good show, it's a good show. That being said, here we are. It is game day. It is, I believe Ray already brought over all the stuff that he's going to be cooking up for tonight for the big event as we watch Moon Knight. Okay, final predictions and expectations. When I first heard that they were doing this, I got excited for one reason. I got excited for Robert Meyer Burnett. I was just excited for him, that he was going to get this show,
so nice.
This character that he always talked about and never seemed to get any, media love, was not going to get, it didn't seem like a show or a character that was going to get its own movie or its own show or whatever, until Kevin Feige stood on that stage, told the world about Ms. Marvel, which shocked everybody, She-Hulk shocked everybody, and Moon Knight. And here we are. Look, I'll say this. I have loved the previews that we've seen. I have not been this excited for a Disney Plus show since probably Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was so stoked for that. I didn't end up loving that show. I liked it. I didn't love it. But I've gotten very, very excited about this one. I have a feeling the first episode is going to leave us. I don't think we're going to be thrilled. This is my prediction right now. I don't think we're going to love the first episode. I have a feeling this is going to be a show that builds. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling that, now if they can come right out of the gate and knock us on our asses like right out of the gate, that would be great. But I'm not going in expecting that. I'm actually expecting, even though it's just a 6-episode series, which once again, what the F is going on with these networks just putting out 6-episode seasons and stuff? It's bullshit. Anyway, even though it's only 6 episodes, I'm expecting the show to be a little bit of a slow burn. That's going to really hit its stride in episode 3, which is where we're all going to blow our minds. Again, I have not seen shit, so I don't know if that's true or not. That's just kind of my expectation.
You could have seen it.
I know, but I want to watch it.
Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I know.
You could have helped a brother out.
But I want to watch it with everybody else. I want you to just see it with everybody else. But I'm still expecting to have a good time. I just don't think it's going to come out of the gates firing. I think it's going to take more of the WandaVision approach, where WandaVision just, first of all, was filled with mystery, but it was just laying groundwork, intriguing, fascinating groundwork. It's once you got to episodes, to the end of episode 2 and episode 3, that's when you're going, oh my God, what is it we're watching? This is incredible. I have a feeling Moon Knight might build up like that. So I don't know. That's where my expectations are right now. Rob, let's go over to you on this. It's here. It's no longer theoretical. It's no longer hypothetical. It is game day. Moon Knight, you are going to see something you've dreamed about most of your adult life, seeing Moon Knight on the screen. Where are your expectations at right now?
Well, I started reading Moon Knight in the early 80s, and the first time I ever took a crack at writing a screenplay was in the mid 80s, and it was a Moon Knight screenplay. And we're talking, I've loved this character for literally 40 years, which is longer than a lot of our viewers have even been alive on this planet. And honestly, I never really thought, like, Moon Knight has appeared in animated places. Like, I just recently reread Avengers Disassembled, and when Avengers Mansion, the destroyed Avengers Mansion's there, and everybody who used to be an Avenger shows up to show their support, Moon Knight was there. And it's one of those things where you just never thought that you would see it. John, I felt the same way sitting in Avengers in 2012. The first Avengers movie. I was like, I was sitting, and this is why I love Marvel Studios, because they have provided me things I never thought that I would ever see on screen. Avengers being one, where it was the first time ever in my life I sat down in a movie theater, and halfway through the movie, like the Battle of New York, that swirling picture of the Avengers, I'm I never thought I would ever. I sat there half the time watching Avengers with my jaw halfway open, like I literally in disbelief. And I kind of feel the same way about this. That not only is Moon Knight hasn't been made, but it's been made as a prestige thing. I mean, I could have got like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, or something like that. It could have been a low budget canon film at some point, but it's not. This is the most prestigious Disney Plus Marvel Studios limited series with an Oscar caliber actor in Oscar Isaac. I never thought I would ever see that, and yet. And Hot Toys has already announced they're making figures from this show. Of course they are. And I just, it is the realization of a childhood dream. And I think that one of the things about the modern age, despite how the world is turning to shit and we're coming out of a pandemic and World War III is on the horizon, I still think, I get up every day and I think, you know what? There's so much cool stuff happening even now. Sure, it might only be in entertainment, but in the technological sector, in the medical sector, I mean, they're growing human organs inside pigs now. It's all good. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life. And now we're getting Moon Knight, John. And I am just thinking to myself, my God, you know what? Life is grand, and I'm glad I'm here to see it. And I look forward to the next remainder of my decades of my life, because this show has given me at least another 10 years of life left. I'm going to live to be a ripe old 103 because of this show. Because of this show.
Moon Knight's powerful.
Yeah. Chris, I mean, I know you've been on board with Moon Knight. I don't think you or anybody's been as excited about it as Rob has, but it's now we're in the final countdown. Final countdown. We're here. We're 12 plus hours away now from this.
Was that what you were doing?
Yes,
the final countdown?
Yeah.
All right.
So where are you at right now? What are your expectations? What do you think we're going to get out of episodes? How do you think it's going to progress? And where's your excitement level for it right now?
I am so excited for this, but I'm like you. It's mostly because Rob's so excited about it. And this is a Marvel character I know so little about, which is honestly really exciting.
I think Marvel knows so little about this character because it's changed so many times over the years.
There's been so many reiterations. I know a lot about the dissociative disorder that goes along with this character, and I'm really looking forward to them exploring that and doing so in a really well done way. I know they brought in a lot of consultants to work on that so that this isn't some kind of caricature, but a really, really great character exploration and really really respectful to the mental health community, which I think is a great start there. I think Oscar Isaac is an incredibly gifted performer. I think he's one of our best. And so I'm so excited for this. Even the promos for this, even just the little things that he and Handsome Hawk have been doing together have just been delightful. They've been so fun and cute. I'm really looking forward to this darker, more intense Marvel property. And I'm so happy to go into it with no expectations. I'm not going into it saying, it needs to have this moment. I need to see this. I'm not going to be looking for Easter eggs because I get to just enjoy this as somebody who's really being introduced to Moon Knight, basically.
Ray, what about you? I mean, we're watching this tonight. Very stoked about it. Like, where's your expectation level like right now?
While I was looking for the images to show on this show, I just saw some high quality images of like screens of like the episode, and it actually comes off very terrifying to me. Like, Oscar Isaac comes off as he's being tormented in a way where I don't think it's going to be nice for kids to see, especially if they intake some of the dark moments in it. I'm actually looking forward to this first episode. I guess I will see if this character is for me or not. I mean, it's really all about these first 2 episodes, like, I think, for me, to figure out if I should stay up for this or if I can wait the next day. Same thing with Halo.
One of the things we should point out, too, that I was just complaining about the 6th episode nonsense, and it is nonsense. They need to stop this bullshit. But The one thing at least we can say about it is it doesn't look like we're going to get that instant disappointment that we had. I remember when Mandalorian season 1 started, we were all so excited to see it, and it was really good, but it's like 26 minutes and 38 minutes. Apparently, the runtime of these episodes are all going to be over 40, and a number of them over 50. So that's at least good to hear.
And that changes things with the 6.
Except, you also got to take that with a grain of salt, that these Marvel shows often have 7-minute credits. And the runtime is often figured into those 7 minutes of credits that run at the end. Also, most shows are 42 minutes or longer, like 44 minutes are most hour-long shows, right? When you minus commercials. And they have 20-something episode seasons. At the very least, like 10-episode seasons. Hell, I think 8 is far too so. So I don't know. I hate the idea that they're doing 6. If you're doing 6, just make a great movie. Just go make a great 2.5-hour movie. You know what I mean? At that point,
I have a feeling too that there's going to be between episodes 4 and 5 or something, the rug is going to be pulled out. The story that they're telling us is not quite what it seems. That's why I think they only showed reviewers the first 4 episodes. I mean,
something big is going to happen at the end of episode 4.
And I think
absolutely
the situation that they're showing us is not the situation that we're going to see at the end. That's the way I would.
Do we all agree, though? I mean, the fact that they have been showing and offering to show 4 episodes, do we all agree something bonkers is going to happen at the end of episode 4?
Oh, yeah.
That then the reviewers aren't going to know anything about?
I hope that's the same case for Halo. That's why they only gave the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing completely changes.
Or unless they don't have any more money and it becomes a low-budget bottle show where everything is on one set.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. It is game day. Are you excited for Moon Knight? Maybe you're not all that much. Oh, by the way, guys, don't forget that tomorrow, here on the John Campea YouTube channel, we will be doing an open spoiler discussion of Moon Knight Episode 1. That'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Keep your guys' eyes open for that. Come back and join. Now, whether we continue to do spoiler discussions for Moon Knight will depend on whether we liked Moon Knight or not. Because if I didn't like Moon Knight, I'm not going to do open spoilers.
Why do you have to even put that question in people's minds?
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
Why do you have to do that?
Look what happened to Morbius. I mean, I don't know. Hope springs eternal.
Just because they start with the same letter doesn't mean they're going to have the same.
It's
fate,
all
John.
superhero movies that start with M suck. All right, that's just the way. I'm trying to think of one that doesn't. Well, Ms. Marvel was good. Or no, that's
2 letters.
It's not even
They
Ms.
both
Marvel. That's
start
Captain
with
Marvel.
Moo.
And Moo, that's right. They still start with Moo. You can't get away from it. It's the universe speaking. What are you guys expecting from this? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 5. Chris, what is our 5th main topic today?
Our 5th topic comes from Ian A. Barth. Hey, guys. Wow. Guess people are just feeling violent this week.
It's only Tuesday.
A report came out in Variety saying that Ezra Miller was arrested in Hawaii Sunday night due to, quote, disorderly conduct and harassment. Between this and the incident 2 years ago, what do you think this means for Ezra's future career? Thanks and have a great day.
Every once in a while, we hear about, a celebrity, an athlete, an actor, a singer, whatever, who literally has the world on a platter. And they just seem to do everything they can to dice it into fine grain and snort it like cocaine and crap it out their lives. And Ezra Miller seems to be turning into one of these guys. And I hope not. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying it just kind of looks like he's intent on becoming one of these people. So here's a little bit of background. Before the news stories started hitting, Rob, I was telling you about this. Before the news stories started hitting in the trades of the Hollywood Reporter and Variety, I had gotten an email, which I read off to you, from someone that told me about, just so you know, Ezra Miller got arrested. And the way they described it to me was this. It was, he got drunk at this place. He was becoming extremely belligerent, yelling a lot of insulting and terrible things at people, including a woman who's trying to do karaoke. Apparently, what they told me, again, I was not there. I cannot, let's be clear about this. I wasn't there. I cannot confirm any of this. All right. I'm just telling you what was told to me. Take that for what it will. And I was told that He was yelling some massive insults at this woman, being really belligerent and harassing, telling her to get off the stage. She was just trying to do karaoke and have some fun. It got to the point that he rushed the stage and physically grabbed the mic out of her hand while she was just up there trying to do it. Some guy yelled at some guy who was doing something else, yelled at Ezra Miller. Somebody asked, and Ezra Miller apparently then went and lunged at the other guy and was held back, stuff like that. Apparently then the people of the facility were trying to tell him to leave. He got belligerent, told them where to go, stuff like that. I was told that the words, "Do you know who I am?" Were uttered. Again, I was not there. I cannot confirm or deny that, whatever. So this was all before the report came out. Then eventually the police were called. The police came and arrested him, took him away. Now, after I had read that, shortly, not long after that, then the official story started to come out in the trades. This is what's written in Variety. This is the account there, which sounds eerily similar to the account I got told to me. According to a post by the Hawaii County Police Department, South Hilo officers responded to a report of a disorderly bar patron on Sunday evening at 11:30 p.m. Police determined that the agitator had become unruly while other patrons sang karaoke and had begun yelling obscenities. Miller then grabbed the microphone from a 23-year-old woman singing karaoke and later lunged at a 32-year-old man playing darts. Miller was arrested and charged on offenses of disorderly conduct and harassment. All right. So, is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised? Listen, I am, and I continue to be to this day, a defender of Ezra Miller's portrayal as Barry Allen in The Flash. I know he gets a lot of crap for it. I don't care what anybody else says. I like his portrayal as Flash. And everybody mocks the way he runs, right? And to which, whenever somebody brings up, you got to understand how dumb this sounds. Whenever somebody goes, "That's not how you run. That's not how you run." Okay, please, out of all the historical examples, show me how somebody who runs faster than the speed of sound runs. Please show me the proper running technique for breaking the sound barrier and maybe going faster. Oh, no one's ever done it? Then who the fuck are you to say how somebody like the Flash should run? If that's how the Flash runs, that's how the Flash runs. And I stand by Ezra Miller and his portrayal of that damn role. I think he's charming and funny. I think he brings life to that role. I think he's great in the role. That said, why would any of us be surprised? A couple of years ago, another incident happened where Ezra Miller was in a bar, got themselves drunk and hammered, got into verbal altercations with some people, and then outside laid hands on a woman, grabbed her by the throat, and took her down to the ground. Now, as I have no daughters, but as a big brother to two sisters.
Well, it's a human being.
I know. I'm just, that's from my own personal experience. As a big brother to two sisters, and call it old-fashioned, I don't care, maybe outdated senses of whatever, fine, call it whatever you want. You don't lay hands on a woman. You don't do that. And, you know, and some people thought it wasn't a joke, it was real, the police, all that kind of stuff. And I was tremendously disappointed in Warner Brothers, and we talked about this a lot at the time, that Warner Brothers did nothing. They didn't put out a statement about it. They didn't ask Ezra Miller to publish a statement or an apology. Warner Brothers' approach to it was, shh, don't talk about it. Jingle some shiny things in front of the idiot audience and distract them with other news. And they did. And they'll say, everybody will just forget about it. Just shh, let's not address it. That was their strategy for dealing with somebody who clearly was a little problematic in their behavior. And that was their strategy. Is anybody surprised that here we are, not long after, again, the same person in a bar, getting hammered, acting belligerently, acting physically threatening, trying to inflict violence on people. Again, going on stage and forcibly yanking something physically away from a woman who wasn't responding to his demands. Is anybody surprised? And I will tell you right now what Warner Brothers' response is going to be. Shh. They're not going to talk about it. We don't talk about Ezra. They're just not going to talk about it. They're going to pretend like it never happened. They're going to try to sweep it under the rug. And next time he's going to hurt somebody. Next time, because what do you expect when you have somebody who you treat like there is no consequences in the world for them? Look, I'm not trying to pretend what Ezra Miller did 2 years ago was the worst thing in the world. He didn't take a baseball bat to some poor unsuspecting guy in the thing and beat him to within an inch of his life. I'm not trying to suggest that he is. But what Warner Brothers did 2 years ago, when they refused to even acknowledge what happened, they sent a message to Ezra Miller saying, you are above everything. You, my demigod friend, get to live beyond the laws of men. You are not accountable for anything you do. And because there were no consequences, because he was not held accountable, is anybody surprised that here we are again with the exact same thing, with a dude who thinks he is better than everybody else because he's been told he's better than everybody else, who believes the rules don't apply to him because he's been told the rules don't apply to him? Is anybody surprised? And the question is, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen the third time? What's going to happen again when Warner Brothers once again goes, you're good, Ezra, don't even worry about it. We're not even going to bring it up. We're not going to mention it. We're not going to make you make an apology. We're not going to say anything about it because you're Ezra fucking Miller. So what's going to happen next time? And I say this as a guy who has defended him in this role for a long time. And they couldn't come at a worse time for Warner Brothers. Couldn't come at a worse time. They've got Flash, yes, coming up, but they just moved that to 2023. But he's a prominent figure in the new Fantastic Beasts movie that I'm going to go see this week, by the way. And I'm excited to see it. And I think he's been good in that, too.
That already has its own baggage.
Yeah, the movie that already has some significant baggage attached to it. Thank you for pointing that out, Rob. And now, here we are. And to Warner Brothers, I would say, well, this is your own damn fault. You didn't address this situation before. And if you suffer any big backlash now or negative press for your movie, you got nobody to blame but yourselves now. Because you could have addressed this without, I'm not saying they should have pulled him out of the movies or I'm not saying they should have done that years ago, but they should have addressed it. And they didn't. They swept it under the rug. They jingled the keys in front of us, the idiot audience, say, ooh, look shiny, be distracted. And we did. We got distracted. And we just said, oh, whatever. It's just Ezra Miller. And here we are again. And again, I don't want to overplay this again as if he went on that stage and took a baseball bat to the girl with a microphone. I don't want to play it like that's the case. But again, this is now escalating. What's going to happen next? And I really hope, although I don't believe for a second it's going to happen, but I really hope what Warner Brothers does is sit down, get some counseling for this guy, because he clearly needs help. I mean, at this point, I have friends who drink and get drunk, and none of these things that he does has ever happened. He clearly needs help. And I really hope at this point, Warner Brothers sits down with him and says, okay, look, here's the deal. You've got to start getting therapy. You've got to start getting counseling. Because if you don't, we can't work with you anymore. And I just hope something happens at this point for his own good, for the good of the movies that we all like to go and watch and enjoy, and for the good of whoever the unfortunate poor soul is who's going to be in the next bar that Ezra Miller walks into. So I hope for everybody involved, including Ezra, I hope Warner Brothers holds him accountable. I hope they insist upon him getting some counseling, but I don't see it happening because Warner Brothers is the shh, don't tell, which is really strange because when the stuff came up with, I'm forgetting the guy's name who played Cyborg.
Ray Fisher.
Ray Fisher. I almost said Ray Orr.
I know. I was like, I don't even know what they're talking about right now.
That's what I was thinking when I was thinking Ray. I kept when the
Ray Fisher stuff came up, Warner Brothers hired 2 third-party independent investigators, including a federal judge, to take that situation seriously and investigate and blah, blah, blah. So I'm really surprised that they've taken this different approach with Ezra Miller. I hope they change. I don't expect them to. Rob, you hear about this situation. Nothing any of us like to. And look, I don't like to talk about TMZ bullshit, but this is directly affecting the movies we are getting ready to watch immediately and down the road. What's your take on this whole thing, and what should Warner Brothers do?
Well, I mean, also, he was featured prominently entering the Speed Force at the Oscars as well. So it was really not good. And I think this incident happened on Sunday night, didn't it? Sunday in Hawaii. Look, John, Ezra Miller is in 2 Warner Brothers products that probably cost collectively close to $400 million. And any behavior like this tarnishes those products before they're even released. There is a demonstrable economic cost to his antics. And I think it's got to be remembered. And this is a tale as old as time. You know, they could sing a Disney princess song about actors who get drunk and get in trouble. It's been happening since actors got up on stage thousands of years ago. But when you're dealing with the multinational, publicly traded corporation's product, you need to put a lid on it. That's part of, you've chosen this life, and part of what you're doing is you are representing the product that you're in. And a Harry Potter movie, a Harry Potter franchise film is coming out, and a giant comic book feature film that is the beginning potentially of a franchise that you stand to make a lot of money. And if they make Flash 2, Flash 3, they put your Flash in different movies. I mean, your entire economic future is contingent upon your behavior. Rightly or wrongly, you chose this life. You got to hold it together, buddy. You have an obligation to your coworkers, your collaborators, your financiers, your producers, to the legacy of these characters that have been beloved for a long time. You took this on, and you have an obligation and a responsibility. And I think all actors need to remember that. You don't get to act this way. And when you do, people got to step in and do what they got to do to protect their investment. Because at the end of the day, you're going to go ruin the work of thousands of people, literally, and the work of a studio this Flash movie is years in the making?
So let me ask you, Rob, what do you think? I admittedly, I'm approaching this thing pessimistically, but what do you think Warner Brothers is going to do about this?
Okay, you're probably right. Nothing. I would say in this day and age, Warner Brothers has to come out. I mean, they set the bail at $500. So it wasn't that, like, he didn't kill anybody. There was no beer bottles broken over someone's head. But I think that he's got to come out, throw himself on the mercy of the court, say he's been going through a lot of stuff, whatever. Say, I profusely apologize, I'm going into alcohol rehabilitation or whatever his problem is, and get therapy and make it public. Because that's what the audience of Harry Potter deserves.
Chris?
The more you know.
You've seen this situation unfolding now. This is the second incident like this one on top of some other smaller incidents. But, like, what's your take on this? And then two-parter, what do you think Warner Brothers should do? And ultimately, what do you think Warner Brothers will actually do, if anything?
Well, I mean, it's not a real film, so I have plenty of time to recast The Flash, first of all. In all seriousness, this behavior is so unacceptable. And Rob and I were talking at the top of the show before we started of how does this happen on the Big Island when you could just be chill at a Hawaiian karaoke and have a nice time. I've definitely drank too much at karaoke, and maybe I go have a moment where I'm sad in the corner or I hug my friend too long. Like, that's kind of what I do when I've had too much to drink. What's really upsetting here is that it's repeated behavior. What's more upsetting is we see this kind of behavior throughout performers in Hollywood, and it constantly is swept under the rug. A similar situation that escalated very, very quickly back in 2018. Emile Hirsch strangled a female executive in a bar to the point where she was unconscious. He was convicted, rightly so. He served 15 days of jail time, 90 days of probation, and was immediately cast in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There are consequences to people's actions. Emile Hirsch went into rehab. He apologized profusely for what happened, but he still got to be in a huge Hollywood film. Ezra Miller is still going to continue to be in these huge Hollywood films, and that is so upsetting to me. And I understand they might be going through something. They might have an issue with drugs and alcohol. They might have something going on. Everyone is fighting their own personal journey. But can I just say that as a human being on this earth, it is so upsetting to see people constantly rewarded for harming women. It seems like it's not taken seriously at all. And people in the chat are making jokes too about being slam choked. It's disgusting. You're disgusting. So I want something to happen here. I want to make sure that this person does not do anything else. I hope they get the help they need. I do want to think that, like you've said before, someone's worst day isn't their entire character. But if you continue to show me who you are as a person, I want you to get your comeuppance. I want you to atone for the things you've done. That's been the theme of the last few days. Apologize for what you've done. And don't just apologize, but make changes in your behavior, because that's the only true apology, is change behavior. And I hope Warner Brothers doesn't sweep this under the rug and actually take some accountability and tries to set a standard for treating other people well, for treating women well, and yeah, treating their fans with some respect too.
Well, another thing, I mean, I really love Ezra Miller as a performer. I thought he was terrific, and we have to talk about Kevin. I thought he was great.
He was really good in that,
but
yeah.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower, I adore that film, and he was great in that too. And I've really liked his presence. I really like him as the Flash, and it bums me out to see this. But it's also like the irresponsibility on display here, especially when there's so much at stake, is especially like as a filmmaker, you don't have control over your actors. You know, when people are off set, and then this happens, can torpedo literally years of work. And it's really unfair to your collaborators to do this to them.
It absolutely is. It's so dismissive of everyone else's hard work when you just decide to cut loose, but then you become a total asshole. It's so disrespectful to everyone else around, not to mention the other people you're literally harming and the harm you're doing to yourself. It's so disrespectful to yourself.
And here's the thing. Warner Brothers is, in the long run, they are doing Ezra Miller no real favors by just letting him get away with
Exactly.
it and not holding him accountable. But you brought up something, Chris, that I do want to address, because I think you're right, but it's interesting. You referred back to when we were talking about Will Smith, about we don't want to judge people. We don't want to judge the totality of somebody's character based on their worst moment. We don't want to do that. But as we were saying in the Will Smith situation, where it's like, this guy's not a repeat offender. There is nothing on record like anything like that happened at the Oscars with Will Smith. This was apparently, hopefully, fingers crossed, an isolated incident. He's apologized for it. He's taken responsibility for it. He's going to be held accountable to a reasonable degree by the Academy, all that kind of stuff. The Ezra Miller situation, this is a pattern of behavior. This isn't like wanting to judge somebody based on their one worst moment. This is now officially a pattern of behavior, and that's only the ones that got made public. So there is clearly something really troubling here. Like, because I'm sorry, but if I had a friend, I had to do this once, but if I had a friend that was getting hammered and drunk and then started acting violently when that would happen, I would be grabbing them by the scruff of the neck and pulling them aside and saying, you got to make some changes, man. This can't happen. You can't be like this. And with Ezra Miller, this is now a pattern. Once is a mistake, twice is a pattern. And I just really hope that while I do not expect Warner Brothers to do anything about this, they've already shown that they're cowardly when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I love Warner. I'm a big Warner Brothers fan. I got some dear friends at Warner Brothers. But I'm saying their approach to Ezra Miller has been cowardly. It has been, we don't want to deal with this. Let's just make everybody forget about it. Shh, make everything go away. And they're having a big fan event this week for Fantastic Beasts. And but I think their strategy is probably everybody will just start talking about Fantastic Beasts and they'll forget about this. But in the long run, they are doing themselves no favors. They're doing Ezra Miller no favors. And they're not doing the people who Ezra Miller may potentially hurt in the future any favors by just ignoring it. So I hope they change their minds on this. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this situation? Do you think this is all much ado about nothing? Do you think there's a real problem here and Ezra's got to be held accountable for his own good and for the good of the things? Do you think this is a situation Warner Brothers just made themselves by the fact that they didn't make him address this before and didn't address it themselves? Whatever your guys' thoughts are, jump on down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that all down, we're now going to move on and start taking your live comments and questions that you guys have sent in. But before we do that, let's hear from one more sponsor of today's show, the good folks over at Coinbase. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, Coinbase. Have you found yourself curious about getting involved in cryptocurrency, but if you're like a couple of friends of mine who have been really interested in it, they felt kind of overwhelmed by it, like not even knowing how to get started? Well, that's where Coinbase comes in, because they make learning to buy and sell crypto simple. Coinbase offers a trusted and easy-to-use platform to buy, sell, and spend cryptocurrency. They support the most popular digital currencies on the market and make them accessible to everyone. They offer portfolio portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your crypto all in one place. And that's why millions of people all over the world in 100 different countries trust Coinbase with their digital assets. So whether you're looking to diversify, just getting started, or searching for a better way to access crypto markets, start today with Coinbase. And for a limited time, new users can get $10 in free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/Campea. Sign up at coinbase.com/Campea for $10 in free Bitcoin. This offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/Campea. And thank you to the folks at Coinbase for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that all down, now let's get over and take your comments and questions you guys have been sending into the live chat. Chris, what do we got up here first?
We are starting with Chef Rigo. Guys, today's my 28th birthday. Guess what I'm doing? Working. Yeah. But no worries, celebrating after work. Hope to see you guys soon.
And we hope to get in there soon. Of course, Chef Rigo is a viewer of our show. He's a chef at a local hibachi place called Shogun, I believe.
Shogun.
Which is utterly delicious. We can't wait to go and check that out. Happy birthday to you, Rigo. May you have a wonderful birthday today and a wonderful year ahead of yourself, man. All right, what's next?
From A. Marcellus. Rob, I couldn't help myself. I went back to collecting physical games. I got a whole bunch of steelbooks and collector's editions.
Are there steel books for games?
Yes, there are.
Yes,
There are. I did not know that. What is a steel book game?
Well, it's the case is a steel book. It's a metal case that's printed with artwork on the inside and outside. It's like special editions, cool stuff.
The last one I got, it was a long time ago, was Halo 2. But that thing had a behind the scenes making of the game, like a really cool bonus content on there. So it was worth every penny.
Very
I
nice.
wish I didn't sell it back.
Good to know.
What?
All right, what's next?
You're no collector.
From Andy, that smack by RMB yesterday was kinky. John is lucky, LOL. Also, thank you so much for the ASMR yesterday, Rob. Screw you, John. Your voice was relaxing and beautiful.
I'm very happy to hear you say that.
You know what it sounds like when you're doing that? Do you remember the Parks and Rec episode when Leslie is running for city council and they decide to make an attack ad against Bobby Newport?
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Newport never worked. That's what you sound like. You sound like them trying to do the Bobby Newport ad in Parks and Rec.
I like the idea. One of our viewers thought me slapping you in the face was kinky. All right.
All right, what's next?
From Sebastian Gonzalez, we don't talk about Jada. No.
By the way, not only did they waste all that Oscar time playing all the individual songs that were nominated for Best Song, they even played an entire song that wasn't nominated for an Academy Award.
Yeah.
We Don't Talk About Bruno was not one of the Academy nominated songs, and yet listen, the song was good. I love the song. Great
Megan Thee
performance.
Stallion being brought in.
They
That was
wasted too
nice.
much time on the screen with it. All right, what's next?
Right. From Andy again, all I could think about when it comes to this year's Oscars is Chris Rock versus Hancock, Dawn of Jada.
Dawn of Jada. Somebody wrote into me and suggested that next year's Oscar should be Chris Rock and Will Smith hosting together, which would be, yeah, I don't think that would be a good idea. But one never knows. All right, what's next?
From Josh Ward, watching the Oscars, I couldn't help but feel the desire for Best Voice Actor Performance and Best Motion Capture Performance categories. Thoughts? So many.
Here's the thing. I still don't believe either should be true. Simply because the same reason I don't believe there should be a Best Animated Film category. It's not enough. Like when you're talking about Best Actor, you were literally going against 500 other potential. When you're nominated for Best Director, you were literally going against 500, 600, 700 other eligible things that year. How many motion capture performances are done in film each year? 20?
But also it requires...
I think you need a larger base first. And I think we will get there, but I think you need a larger base first to give an Academy Award out, because I don't think you should be given a trophy for being champion in a league of 3 teams.
But BAFTAs recognize motion capture.
I think they're wrong. I think they're wrong. I just don't think there's enough, because you are giving an Oscar that one person had to compete against 30 other people for, and the same Oscar you're giving to somebody else who had to compete against 500 other people for.
But
There's far
and I just
more
think you need,
animated films than that.
But
though.
that's what I'm saying. Like the number of eligible motion capture performances is so infinitesimally small compared to the eligible, even like makeup and design and all that kind of stuff. I just think you need a wider base first, why I think it will come eventually, but I don't think yet. And I know that makes me unpopular, but it's
Look, also, I think motion capture really does fall under the auspices of visual effects, because you need an entire visual effects team to use the basis, that motion capture basis, to create a character. Thanos, beautifully performed by Josh Brolin, but wouldn't look like he looks without a great team of animators and effects technicians behind him.
And vice versa. You're providing a rig, you're providing a skeletal system for them to work with. So I agree that it's a team, but
Yeah.
I think then you just recognize the team as a whole.
But see, I used to have this, me and Schnepp used to have this debate, because I actually kind of reject that argument that, well, with a motion capture guy, you also need the visual effects people and the motion tracking. With an actor on a set, you need the hair and makeup people, you need the costuming, you need the set that they dwell in, you need the director giving them direction, you need the words that are put into their mouths by the writers. I would propose to you that the performance by an individual actor is no less a team effort than the team effort that goes into a motion capture. It's different. It's different. But it's, I think, philosophically the same, that yes, it's a team effort, but so is a regular. I just don't think there's enough of them yet to justify a category.
That all said, I think SAG needs to recognize it. I think that's ridiculous. I have to be a SAG's dues paying member, and you're not going to have a best voice actor or best motion capture category?
I would agree with you. I think SAG, because SAG being specifically and exclusively for performers, I would agree with you on that.
I think that's the most ridiculous thing they do to us.
Because they have a stunt.
Yep.
They have a stunt ensemble award, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. Yes, SAG should do it.
I would buy that. I mean, I believe in that.
All right, what's next?
All right, from Al Renshaw. Can't wait to Rob's Ghibli reaction to Moon Knight.
I'm kind of
Ghibli?
I'll be honest with you though. I'm half expecting a lot of complaining tomorrow. I know. It's just that, but that's true of a lot of us, right? When our hopes and dreams and everything are so high, there's a decent chance it may disappoint us.
Well, I have to say that this show, I'm going into the show knowing that this is a fusion of many different Moon Knight elements into a new cocktail of delightfulness, I hope. And so knowing that, I'm actually going into this show without expectation, because the iteration of Moon Knight that I fell in love with is not this. And I've been reading Moon Knight, and Moon Knight, for the most part, to be honest, John, for the most of the time that he's existed as a character, his comics have been fairly disappointing to me. So I like the idea of it more so. So they're going to win me over. I already like the iteration of the actual Moon Knight character itself. I like what they've done. Again, not what I'd grown up with, but still quite interesting, and I like where it's derived from. So I'm in.
All right, what's next?
Don't F it up.
From Slap My Bat Nipples. What do you call a wizard that's bad at football? Fumbledore.
No. Ray, stop. Ray, stop. Boo that joke.
No.
Boo that joke. I'm insisting you boo that joke.
Fumbledore's pretty funny, though.
I mean, it's simple. You catch me at the wrong time. It's funny. And that was pretty funny.
All right, what's next?
From Jerome. Do you think that how many movies portray anger can be considered problematic? How
No.
some movies can portray.
No. Filmmaking is people telling stories. And I think you tell your story however you see that story coming untold. So no, I don't personally see that as problematic at all. All right, what's next?
All right, from CMG2491. Hey, John and crew, I don't think Will should have his Oscar revoked because that just opens up a can of worms. Maybe just a fine and a 2 to 3 year ban on attending the event?
I mean, I think that is the most common sense approach, right? It's holding him accountable. It's not making it too severe. Again, his performance, what he did on that stage had nothing to do with his performance and what he did to earn that Oscar. And the can of worms that really gets open, as Chris has been pointing out, is then do you go back throughout Oscar history to everybody who has acted badly after winning an Academy Award and take them away? I mean, it does become problematic, CMG. I think what you're suggesting is absolutely the right approach, and we'll see what they do with it. All right, thanks for that, CMG. What's next?
From Fifi. Hey, crew. Sonic 2 is so close and I'm very hyped. However, if Shadow doesn't show up and say, where's that damn Chaos Emerald, then what's even the point of having a Sonic movie?
I cannot agree with you more. I'm kidding. I don't know who the hell Shadow is.
Shadow's
the
the
name of
best.
my dog.
That's awesome.
I know, but Shadow is the best. The
Is
character in Sonic, yeah.
Shadow
I've
God.
never even heard of it.
Do you want Shadow before you get Metal Sonic? Or do you want Metal Sonic before you get Shadow?
I just want Super Shadow.
That's fair.
Is that like, man, God.
That's when he goes like all Super Saiyan.
Yeah, it goes super
Yeah.
crazy.
It's great.
So is Metal Sonic like Mecha Godzilla? Is that what that
It's
is?
just like a metal robot Sonic.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Fair
I
enough.
don't.
Isn't that it?
There's a robot?
He's like a metal guy.
That might
Let
be
me know
my
if I'm
new
wrong,
favorite.
chat.
I only know Shadow and Super Shadow. That's it.
All right, what's next?
From Schnip. I love Snyder's DC movies, but I hate Ezra as the Flash. Snyder's one bad casting choice in my opinion.
I disagree. I really like him as the Flash.
Me too.
I think he's got this. There's a bubbliness to and a sweetness and a hilarious timing to it. Like I just love his Barry Allen. I think his Barry Allen is great. I love the way he portrays it. And remember, he is playing the character that they wrote for him. But I love the life that he brings to it. I mean, I'm not very happy with him as an individual right now, but I'm gonna separate that from what I think he is as that. But hey, listen, it's all subjective, Schnip. If he doesn't work for you, he doesn't work for you. I personally quite like him as the character. All right, what's next?
From Rob's unparalleled voice, one of two. The Batman was a missed chance to see Lunatic Fringe by Red Rider. Lunatic Fringe, I know you're out there, you're hiding, and we know what you're after because you've got to blame someone for your own confusion. We're on guard this time against your final solution.
No idea what any of that
Is that
means.
a song?
I assume so.
I guess it's a
Lunatic
song.
Fringe by Red Rider.
Okay, I'm completely unfamiliar with it, but I'm sure people who know it are probably
It sounds good.
celebrating.
I like the
with
lyrics.
that. Yeah. All right, what's next?
From MP, Verisimilitude, baby.
Verisimilitude. Is
That's
the
what I'm
word of the
talking
year.
about, man.
The word of
Yes.
the year. Everybody knows it now. Nobody knew it before, but now because of Robert Meyer Burnett,
Well,
everybody.
I actually got it from Richard Donner. You know, he used that word when he was making
but nobody
Superman
paid
the movie.
attention.
It's true.
Until Robert Meyer Burnett said it.
It's
now
true.
everybody knows the word verisimilitude.
I'm like the E.F. Hutton of movie making.
All right, what's
I
next?
have no idea what it is.
From Andy, one of three. I have a crazy, stupid idea. This year's Emmys should have John Cena as the host. Think about it. The opening of it has the cast from Ted Lasso, Succession, The Boys, Cobra Kai, The Umbrella Academy, Stranger Things, Moon Knight, Squid Game, Killing Eve, Obi-Wan Kenobi, This Is Us, Euphoria, and more, being led by John Cena's Peacemaker to the Peacemaker intro. That would be the most ambitious crossover ever, and I'd pay good money to see it.
I mean, listen, you know what I think about the Peacemaker opening. It's the best opening in television history. I just think it's absolutely the best, most hilarious opening in television history. But you can't do that. You'd never be able to get all those people together. I mean, it's cool to say, you know what they should do? Make a comic book movie with every actor who's ever been in any comic book movies ever. Well, that's logistically impossible. You wouldn't be able to pull that together.
You know what is cool is the Paramount ads though, where they have the South
Paramount
Park
ads are
kids singing the
very
Halo
good.
song.
Yeah.
And then they did another one. I just saw it last night. It was something else about one of their other shows, and I just think those are fun.
All right, what's next?
Blake62. After seeing the new Top Gun trailer, I think this movie could rival Rocky IV for the undisputed best movie ever. Love the show. I feel the need.
I think, man, I'll tell you what, though, Rocky Balboa is a strong contender for me for the best Rocky movie ever. I was so delightfully surprised by it, especially coming off of Rocky 6, or Rocky 5, I should say. Rocky Balboa is Rocky 6. I thought Rocky Balboa, Rocky 6 was fantastic, but I still got to go Rocky 4 as my favorite Rocky movie. I mean, there's just something so deliciously... I mean, first of all, the soundtrack in that movie is so good, especially when he's training in Russia and like lifting the logs and all that kind of stuff, running through. Drago! I mean, I think it is my favorite Rocky movie to date. Not the best movie ever, but favorite Rocky movie to date. What's yours, Rob?
I love Rocky 3, man.
Rocky 3 is
Rocky
good.
3 was so much fun. Like when I went to saw Rocky 3, I'm like, really? And I'm a big Rocky 2 fan because I love the scene when he runs up the stairs and all the kids run behind him. That might be my favorite. But Rocky 3 is great.
It is good. I don't hate the man. I'll destroy anyone who tries to take what I got. I think I got the term.
That's it.
Thunder Lips.
Thunder.
I
Ding.
just always think of
The
the
ultimate man
Spaceballs
versus
joke.
the ultimate meatball. What's that?
I just always think of the Spaceballs joke of coming up next, Rocky 5000.
1,000. So good. So good. All right, what's next?
From Jay Bling. Facepalm. Of course, I made 800 million domestic tally for No Way Home yesterday, not 200 million. I was in a rush to get my super chat in before heading out. LOL.
Oh, we got your back, Jay Bling. We knew what you meant, dude, but thank you for the follow-up. That's very courteous of you to make sure we understood what you were saying. Thanks, man. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack. Chris, don't stress. Okay. I think the fans and people who liked the first movie will like Sonic more than the critics did. I think the first Sonic movie got 64% and people still liked it. It's very true.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna I wasn't looking forward to the first Sonic. I ended up enjoying it very much.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie though. I was kind of hoping this would be a universally loved movie. I was kind of hoping for that. So, and again, we'll see what happens once we hit 40 reviews, 50 reviews, 60 reviews. Then we'll start to get a sense to see where those things are at. All right, what's next?
Kevin Joyce, any Moon Knight pregame streams planned? Oh, or wait to see what the reaction to the show will be?
Yeah, I never do. I don't think I've ever done, and I don't plan on doing a pregame show before I've started seeing the show. Now, look, if I watch Moon Knight tonight and I love it, then yeah, you're probably going to see a Moon Knight pregame show next week, and then the postgame show. So, but I got to at least see the show first to see if I like it, because I don't want to waste my time if I don't like the show. All right, what's next?
From Al Renshaw. Hey, Ray, couldn't find the Paramount Plus 3-month trial.
Do you remember where that was, Ray?
Well, a lot of people were saying there's an offer on Game Pass, but I don't know. There's a website called Retail Me Not that I usually go onto, and I found a 1 month at least on there. So try that. And also, if
What's the name of that website again?
Retail Me Not. It's just all together. Paramount even just offers it to you if you're a first-time subscriber. Like, do the sign up, and I believe the step before the last, you can get a free trial. You know, it's
like a 1 month free trial.
Yeah, 1 month. If that's good enough for you to see if you like something or you're into something.
All right,
or not.
that's good information. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, there's been a many time with the MCU where I've said to myself, they're doing it. They're actually doing it. Tonight will be one of those times.
Look, even if you go back to when the MCU was in full swing, okay? The Avengers has happened. We've had a couple of Thor or Iron Man movies. We had Thor. We have Captain America. Avengers is out. Even then, I couldn't have imagined a time when we'd be getting Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight, and I just couldn't envision a time at that point. But yet here we are, Rob. It's actually happening.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, there's another character I'd really like to see, which is Deathlock. I would love to see Deathlock join the MCU. I don't know if they could do that.
But they did in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Rob. Didn't you see him? Yeah, that was. Yeah, they just pretend Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist. All right, what's next?
Christopher Brickner. Base Ambulance has a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I'm going to go see that on... Oh, yeah, Tuesday. I was just talking about that. I'm going to go see Ambulance on Tuesday. So a couple days before it opens. I'm going to go because it's the screenings at Universal. So I love going to Universal. So I can go see the screening and then go hang out in the park, go take the studio tour again. I love that a lot. So we'll see. I mean, fingers crossed. All right, what's next?
From Cash. Hi, John and crew. I was hoping to hear your thoughts on the new episodes of Atlanta. I love the first 2 seasons. Looking forward to where they take it.
Just funny. Ann and I, the other day, the day the first episode was dropping, the first episode of season 3, we sat down and watched the last 2 episodes of season 2 again. Love that show so much. The way that, and I didn't love Atlanta, during the first 3 or 4 episodes of season 1, but it started to grow. I mean, once you start to get your brain in tune with what Glover's doing with it, but the way season 2 ended with the whole thing about everything is going wrong in this guy's life, and it ends with that whole thing on the plane and the gold gun and all that kind of stuff, and it ended, there was a perfect ending for a season, and then we had to wait 3 years, or was it 4? I think it was 3. At least a number of years before this new season come out. I have not watched episode 1 yet. I was going to watch it with Ann, but then I had to go out. So she watched the first episode. She loved it. So I haven't watched the first couple yet. Have any of you guys caught up on season 3?
No, but I loved Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's great.
So I haven't got caught up on it yet, but I will get caught up on the next 2 episodes. All right, what's next?
All right, from Irene Jobson. How do I upgrade from $4.99 to $10 hairs? To $10 hairs?
Dollars. Oh, there's somebody using voice recognition to probably write that. I'm not really sure how. She's talking about the new memberships. Of course, yesterday we launched channel memberships. And we're already seeing people taking advantage of all the stuff being able to use channel memberships. And there's 3 different levels. I'm not sure, Irene. I've never done it. I would just go back into it. You should be able to change it, I think. But go and check that out and see if it works. All right. Then let us know if you're able to make that work. All right. What's next?
Kylo Ken. John, will tomorrow's members only live stream be available after the fact? I work second shift, can't be there live.
Yeah. So tomorrow, prior to the post-game show of Moon Knight, we are going to be doing a town hall meeting. We were just talking about channel memberships. So everybody who is a director or producer level in channel memberships, we're going to be doing a town hall where we are going to be doing some announcements about some things that are coming up the channel. We're going to let our members know about it first. We're going to take questions from you guys about the channel or anything else you guys want to talk about. And yeah, and then yes, it will then be available on the channel for people who are members. You'll be able to watch it after the fact. I mean, it won't be available after the fact for people who are not members, but if you're a member and you can't be there live, it will still be there for you to watch afterwards. So I hope that answers that.
I'm going to answer all my questions in this voice.
No, and Rob will not be answering his questions in that voice. All right, what's next?
Ahmed Yassin sends in just some support. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Kenny Kearns. Should they just recast Ezra Miller? They got 7 extra months. LOL.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, you can't. The movie's shot. It's done.
Is it?
Yeah. Is it though?
I just don't believe it's real.
Really?
There's a reason they pushed it to 2023, John.
Yeah, I mean, it's done. It's shot. Now, what happens from here will determine whether or not he's Flash again, but it's too late at this point. You would literally have to reshoot the whole movie.
Or he'll be a flash in the pan.
Boo!
Now,
Boo you, man!
now the boo comes out. All right, what's next?
Super Wonderbat. Why did Will use his open hand? Because paper beats rock.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not bad. That one's not bad. All right, what's next?
Matt McCuller. Do you think Oscar Isaac is in the MCU for the long haul?
Okay, I'm trying to think if what I was told was like private information or not. I don't think it was.
Say it.
He has an extensive contract.
Well, you know why? I think episode 5 and 6 is going to reveal this is all a dream of apocalypse, and that we're going to go back to ancient Egypt, and it's going to be the birth of mutants in the
They're
MCU.
bring everything over.
It's all coming back
coming
down.
together.
It's just a dream he had of the future that doesn't yet exist.
But I feel safe in saying this is not the last we're going to see of Moon Knight. I think
Oh,
that's
no,
safe
I
to
guarantee
say.
it's not.
Yeah, he's going to be around for a while, I believe. All right, what's next?
From Philip Silva. Thanks for keeping me sane at work.
Oh, thank you for joining us from work, Philip. It's good to have you here. Thank you so much, man. All right, what's next?
Fifi. I still think Ezra would have been a Wally West Flash.
I got to listen, I've heard that argument, and honestly, it's not a bad argument.
Nope.
But that still, for me, does not take away that I love his Barry Allen. Look, every time you'd make anything, it's going to be a different iteration. Look how many times they've done Joker, and every time it's been a different iteration. I really like Ezra's iteration of Barry. I don't like how he conducts himself off camera, but I do like his iteration of Barry, so we'll see where that goes. All right, what's next?
From Devin. Jughead has telepathy now. What is going on?
No.
He has
Say that. Is that true? Is that what they're doing? We've been.
So there was this weird, because I don't know if the new season has started. They did this weird off season where there were no consequences. It was a whole bunch of supernatural stuff. And Jughead basically existed outside of the universe, but was aware of the universe, knowing that they were comic book characters.
He was a watcher?
Yeah. And then he has to like write the comics for the rest of time. And that's why he's the narrator of the show, because really he's just the watcher talking about everything. Bleh.
Oh my God. How can they make that show any worse?
It's Andy. It's true. Jughead has telepathy. Is that what it is? Andy, we got to talk about friggin' Riverdale, man.
Telepathy. Oh my God. All right. What's next?
From Sebastian, Chris R. Who are you? Will Smith. I'm Vengeance.
Oh God. All right. What's next?
From Matt, disagree that the 8 categories in the Oscars edit was okay. Felt choppy. Editor of Dune noted the irony of his speech was edited down.
As far as I know, the speeches were not edited down.
I heard they were. Some of them were.
Oh.
Huh. Well, look, I will say this.
Jenny Bevins didn't seem edited, but
No, a number of them didn't seem edited at all. I will say this. If they edited down the acceptance speeches, I will take umbrage with that. I will take issue with that. They should not do that. But I absolutely felt, in principle, the way they approached it worked. I think they literally shaved probably a good 12, 13 minutes off the show just by doing it that way.
And then put it back
Because here's what does not matter. What does not really matter is the presenter coming out, giving a little bit of a speech, reading off one by one the individual things. the minute and a half it takes for somebody to go, oh my gosh, I won, and then stand up and walk down the aisle, get on the stage and blah. None of that matters. What matters is who are the nominees, who's the winner, and then hearing the speech, the acceptance speech of the winner. Now, if they did edit down their acceptance speeches, that's got to change. They should not do that. But I guys tell you, for me as a viewer who was very skeptical about this year's Oscars to the point that I didn't even watch the first half. I had no plans of even watching it. That's how skeptical I was. I thought it worked. I thought it worked fine, and I think they should continue doing it next year. But I think they should maybe rotate which categories. Obviously, not for actor, actress, screenplay, director, best picture, but for the other like 20-something categories, I think they should rotate that every year and say like, yeah, every year there's going to be 8 or 9 that they do it that way. I thought it worked fine. Rob, I at least know that you didn't think it turned out as bad as you feared it could.
No, it wasn't as bad, but if they're trying to cut down time and make it a zippier show, don't put in musical numbers for songs that aren't even nominated.
Facts.
Yeah.
And, you know, it would have been, why not do a medley where you have all these characters out on stage going in and out of the best? Why do they've always,
totally correct.
It's always been a show, and they've always had the built-in song categories. But I don't mean to denigrate anyone who writes great music. But a best song nominee is, in terms of the grand scheme of the movie itself that it's representing, you're using an inordinate amount of screen time, as you always have, to promote a song, because a song is a variety show kind of a thing. We'll have people sing. Come on, man.
No, I agree. Look, when the best actor, they don't have them come out and act out a 7-minute scene of their movie. Now, also nominated for best actor, Bradley Cooper, and he comes out and acts out a 5 minutes. You don't do that. You show a quick 5-second clip of their acting performance, and then you move on to the next nominee. I don't know why song category gets like a full 2.5 to 3 minutes of screen time per nominee.
And not only that, I mean, you think about, I should have known. That's a long song. Already the song's too long. You know, and like you're listening to Billie Eilish, she was great, but like, come on, man.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Jay, Man of Steel soundtrack is perfect. Pumped for Movie Club.
Yeah, so excited. We're doing Man of Steel in our movie club today, guys. Make sure you come back and join us at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh,
Man, I watched it again. Oh, man.
so good. We're going to do Man of Steel today. Make sure you guys come back and join us. All right, what's next?
From Kevin Cow. Just watched Everything Everywhere All at Once last night at IMAX screening at Burbank 16.
That's where I saw it.
Oh my God, it was one of the best action comedies in a long time.
It is, look, I know we all overuse the word. It's brilliant. Everything Everywhere All at Once is fucking brilliant. It's so good.
Is it better than Balls of Fury?
Yes. Easily.
Don't look at me.
You didn't like Balls of Fury?
The Balls
I
of Fury
always
is
like
fun, but
Balls
that's
of
an
Fury.
interesting
Come on.
bar to set.
Yeah, that's it's strange. That's the bar. That's, I mean, there's Mice and Men, Godfather, Balls of Fury.
Balls of Fury, you know.
I mean, there it is. But no, seriously, Everything Everywhere All at Once is so good. I'm so glad you saw it, Kevin, and all you guys. Make sure you get out and check it out when you have a chance. All right, what's next?
CMG 2491 again. And can WB just take this time to reset Ezra as Barry Allen? So much drama with that guy. It might hurt the movie when it eventually comes out.
I mean, yeah, it very well could. And who knows what else he's going to do between now and when the movie comes out to make it even worse.
Yeah.
When it comes to, though, this particular movie, the ship has sailed. The film's done. It's in the can. There's nothing you can do about it at this point. So unless you want to invest another $200 million to redo it, but they did that with Justice League once, and it didn't turn out the way they wanted to. So, and I'm not talking about the Snyder cut. I'm talking about the theatrical cut.
It does sour it, though. Because, I feel that way
It
about
does.
Aquaman, where I'm like, and Amber Heard's in this? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not thrilled about that.
I am. I like Amber Heard.
I think she is so completely unmemorable. And also, I
like her a lot. I like her a lot. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet. Just watched the new Top Gun Maverick trailer. Loved it. Did you check it out, John?
Yeah, we go back. We talked about it earlier in the show. It is terrific. Such a good trailer. Again, I saw it a number of months ago at CinemaCon, but it is wonderful. I cannot wait to watch this full movie, man. I'm so excited for it. All right, what's next?
Matt McClure again. I'm not a fan of Ezra's Barry, and I wish we would have gotten a more comic faithful rendition of him.
But here's the question. Whenever somebody says, I want a more comic faithful rendition, which version? There have been literally over 30 variations of Flash, and Barry and his origin and all that kind of stuff. So when you say comic faithful, which comic faithful?
What era?
Yeah,
What
which
decade?
era, which writer, which origin story, which one? There have been so many different iterations of it. When you can have 4 people say, I want a more comic accurate that character, but they could all be talking about 4 completely different ideas. So you do what you can to put together then a character that kind of is an embodiment of the spirit of one of them, and then you run with it, no pun intended. And I think that's what they did here. But hey, that's
agree.
kind of my take on it.
Pun fully intended.
All right, what's next?
Comic Nizer. Oh, John, if you only knew the stories I have being a manager at Walmart in Alabama.
Oh, wow.
You wouldn't believe what people leave and do in the bathrooms at Walmart. Oh, the Walmartians.
Guarantee you I would. I would absolutely believe. And as soon as you say, yeah, as soon as you kind of set that up, I'm like, Comic Nizer, whatever you're going to say, I'm going to totally believe. So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, that's something that'll crush your faith in mankind.
I was hooked for a while. What was the name of that website? People at Walmart?
Oh
Or
my!
People of Walmart? I mean, I
Yeah.
was hooked on that website for a while. It's pretty, people are funny. I'll just say that. People are funny. All right, what's next?
Al Renshaw. Hey, Chris. Hi. I am excited for Sonic 2 as well. Don't let people take away your excitement. I'll be seeing it at least 3 times. That's awesome, but also I've been pooping on other people's movies, so I mean, I've been making people feel bad about Morbius. If everyone's like, Chris, Sonic's gonna be really bad, I've opened myself up to that. It's fine. I
might
can
be.
dish it and take it.
It is okay to go into a movie understanding that it could be bad.
Yeah.
I go into every movie I go into hoping this can be the greatest thing I've ever seen, understanding it might be a total dumpster fire. And then you just leave that at the door and then you just watch it and take it for what it is. I mean, that's generally, I think you're doing yourself the most favors.
It's all you can do, man. You can
All
just
you
go
can
in
do.
there and be like, hey, cross your fingers.
Cross
Hope
your
for the
fingers.
best.
All right, what's next?
From Jerome, caught up on From.
Nope, not yet. You know what? I'm going to do that, I believe, tonight. I think tonight I got Anne's heading out tonight, so I believe I'm going to sit down and get all the rest caught up on From, because I am absolutely loving that show. All right, what's next?
All right, from Crash and Coyote. It's not game day, it's tomorrow.
No, we've had this discussion before. It is today.
I don't know what you learned in Canada land, but here in the States, we're taught that when the clock hits 12, it becomes a new day.
Yeah, semantics. It is game day. I'm awake right now. When I'm still awake tonight, I'm watching it tonight. It's game day right now. All right, what's next?
All right, from Ahmed. Just finished The Boys season 1. Loved it.
Oh, dude,
Ooh.
I'm so excited for you. That you did. That I just remember watching that first season of The Boys and being so blown away. I'm glad you were able to do that. I'm very jealous, and now you get to watch season 2 for the first time, something I will never get to do again. So I'm excited for you, man. All right, what's next?
From My Comic Planet. CinemaCon 2022 lineup has been announced, and it's stacked. Will you be attending this year, John? Maybe bring Rob, Ray, and Chris with you?
And Aaron, and we're all going.
Yeah.
I don't. Ray hasn't told me if I can get him to come or not yet, but I'm planning on bringing all of us.
Ray, we
So-
can go eat so much food.
And everybody's there
I'm
this
going.
year. Like the last CinemaCon that we were at, Disney didn't show up and one other studio. They're all there this year. Universal's there, Paramount's
Yes.
there, Warner Brothers there, Disney is there, Lionsgate is there. I mean, they're all doing presentations, and I have a feeling, I don't know this for sure, and I'm not going to get my expectations or hopes too high, but I think they're going to give us a screening of Doctor Strange. I think they're going to give us a screening of Doctor Strange. I know there are no less than 3 surprise screenings happening at CinemaCon this year. I've got a feeling Doctor Strange 2 is one of them. So fingers crossed. All right, but yes, we will be in Vegas for CinemaCon next month. All right, what's next?
The Darman. Moon Knight has a 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. About where Captain Marvel and Iron Man 3 ended up. Movies I liked. I don't need it to be the best thing ever, just good. Here's hoping I agree with the 76%.
I mean, again, let me go over and check to see how many that represents. So if I go Moon Knight,
Much higher than Halo, Rob.
Tomatoes, how many reviews are there? So right now, there are 45 ratings right now. So it's getting up there, but again, so we'll see. I mean, listen, this is by far the majority of the TV critics are liking it. So we'll see where that goes from there. Again, we don't have to wait too much longer. It's tonight because it is game day, and we will see about that tonight. All right, what's next?
From Christopher Brickner. I thought it was a mistake to only do the first episode for the Halo show. I think they should have done the first 2, since the first is more of a setup.
I don't necessarily agree. I mean, I think I would have been fine because I did watch the first 2 episodes. To be honest, like
Yeah.
Ray and I watched the first 2 episodes back to back. And honestly, I think it's fine separate. As somebody who's seen the first 2, I think it's fine that they're separate. They're 2 very different episodes from each other. So I think it's perfectly fine that they played them separately. Ray, how do you feel about that?
Part of me wants to say, knowing that I've seen also episode 2, that they should have released them together. The problem with that is the length of each episode. They are a full hour, and like I couldn't see myself watching those 2 episodes in one sitting.
Whereas a lot of the rest of us were going close to an hour episodes. Awesome. Yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah, for Ray's a little bit different. All right. What's next?
From The Batman, no spoilers, 1 of 2. Final scene between Alfred and Bruce was really touching. I couldn't help but wonder how Bruce would react to the loss of Alfred.
You know what? We can't read the rest of that. You can say no spoilers, but obviously you're going into places that we can't go, unfortunately.
Okay.
All right. What's next?
From Kyle. Hey, John, are you going to do the Dark Knight for Movie Club? I would love to see it. Also, this crew you put together is amazing.
Was that?
We did the Dark Knight.
I was like, wait,
It-
have I missed something?
It is
What
there.
happened? Did we?
Yeah.
Did we really?
Yeah,
No.
we really did. It is there. It is there. We've done 7 episodes of Movie Club so far, Kyle, and one of them is indeed The Dark Knight. So we invite you to go and check that out there. All right, what's next?
James Lester II. First time, long time.
Thank you. Be good to have you here, James.
Thanks for making me enjoy work from home. Who's up on Russian Doll? This Netflix series blew me away, and season 2 drops on 4/20. Any fans on the team?
I loved it.
Rob
Yeah.
likes it, but didn't season 1 come out like 7 years ago?
Yeah, it seemed like it did.
a while ago.
No, I really liked it. It's really interesting, and it has a very interesting take on, I guess you could call it time travel. It's really, and Natasha Lyonne is great in it. It's great.
So I didn't even know there was a season 2.
I heard that there was. I didn't know it was coming out.
And isn't the showrunner for this show is the one doing the Acolyte, the Star Wars Acolyte series,
yes,
is it not?
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I'm like very excited for.
No, Russian Doll is really interesting. I don't know where they're going to take it, but it's really interesting.
All right, what's next?
From Matt McClure again. Do y'all watch that interview show Hot Ones? I'd love to see y'all do some hot wings on the show. Rob and I do.
I love Hot Ones.
Yeah.
I don't watch every single one of them, but so Hot Ones, for a long time I worked for Complex, and Hot Ones is a Complex production. At least it was when I was there. And I think the show is great. I love the basic general format of it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit of behind the curtain stuff, and maybe I shouldn't even be saying this.
Yes, you should. Come on.
Okay, so true story from the Collider days. So I'm at Collider, which was owned by Complex. So I was an employee of Complex, who also did Hot Ones. And our Complex boss was insisting that we try to find a way to replicate, basically do a copy of Hot Ones. So they came to me with ideas of, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get celebrities, and you're going to go to a theme park and ride on a roller coaster with them and interview them while you're on the roller coaster. And that'll be the gimmick. I'm like, no. All right. Well, you're into poker, right? Yeah, I play poker. What if we bring in a celebrity and you play poker and you interview them while you're playing poker? I'm like, no. And they were just kept trying to find ways to replicate what Hot Ones was doing, only with a slightly different change, right? And I try to remind them of 2 different things. I constantly was reminding them of 2 different things. Number 1, audiences generally don't care, with very few exceptions, don't care about celebrity content. Generally speaking, if you can come up with a great hook, awesome. And Hot Ones did it, and they do it great.
Yep.
But number 2, I said, just because it worked with Hot Ones, you suddenly think it's easy to get celebrities on stuff? It ain't easy to get celebrities to come and do things. And building our whole foundation around that is just a bad idea, and it's not going to work. But I mean, that was a big thing. It was all because Hot Ones and sneaker shopping, which was also a Complex thing, right? That we gotta replicate sneaker shopping and Hot Ones. Got to replicate that. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in doing it. But anyway, that was a little bit of a.
Do you know what's
behind the
interesting though? I think, and speak to this, Chris. One of the attractions about Hot Ones is it doesn't matter if they're celebrities or not. When you have da bomb in your mouth. What you want to see is
And the
how
host is great.
the host
Sean's
is great.
incredible.
He's
What's
incredible.
Sean's last name?
Sean Evans.
Evans.
He is one of the
He's
best
great, and he's
interviewers
a great
ever.
interviewer. But you want to see what happens when these celebrities try and handle this stuff.
The
And-
level of Schadenfreude here.
yeah. And that's part of it is like you can't duplicate it. It doesn't matter how famous the person is. They come in and they're all disarmed because we're all human beings.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's the fun of the show. Yeah, it's nice to meet celebrities in that environment, but watch him get free as fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the funny thing.
And now the show has become such like a rite of passage for people who are celebrities.
Yeah.
You haven't done that show yet
It's
because
become-
everyone's
it's become
done
an
that show.
institution now. It's
and,
like doing Johnny Carson back in the day. It's an institution.
Yeah, and now it's a contest of how far did you get? Did you get to the last wing? That's what's cool about the show.
Yep.
I like sneaker shopping too, only when it's like someone who like I wonder what their style is like. You know, so I like that show. It works for me. Yeah, it's a great idea.
And the thing is, it doesn't matter. You could be a megawatt celebrity. But if you put that hot sauce in your mouth and you don't like it,
baby.
We're all human.
no amount of celebrity or money is going to save you from da bomb.
But here's a 6 degrees of separation with Sean Evans. Again, great host of that show. He makes.
host.
You ever see his thing that he did with Joey Coy? That Joe Coy one where they're doing Filipino food was so good. But so back in the day, I think we were still AMC. I don't think we had transitioned over to Collider yet. But I was doing a casting, and we needed a new person on the team, and I ended up coming across this girl named Natasha.
Yeah, Natasha.
What was Natasha's last name again? Natasha.
She's on my Instagram.
I can't.
Martinez?
Is it Martinez? It might have been Martinez.
Is it not?
It might have been Martinez.
It might
At
be
any rate.
Martinez.
So I one of the people came in audition was Natasha, and she was actually great. And so I cast her, and she was wonderful on our program.
Yeah.
She was absolutely fantastic.
She was also like a Miss California too, right? She won that pageant or something like that.
She was, yeah. And she was a Laker girl at one point. But
Man,
she
you
had
set the bar much lower for female hosts.
well, she was also had a journalism degree. She had worked in television and stuff like that. She was great. So
Way to make Chris feel even better.
I was like, shit, she was really hot and smart. Oh, God.
Oh, come on, Chris.
so she comes on and she works with it. Then we go over to we become employed by Complex. Well, ultimately Complex recognized how good she was.
They snatched her up right away.
And they snatched her up, and they sent her up, and I think they sent her to New York then, and she started hosting a lot of their bigger stuff with Complex, and then she dated Sean Evans for like 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I just found out yesterday they're not dating anymore.
Oh wow, they're not.
That's what Ann tells me. I say, yeah, she's. I think Natasha's still dating Sean, but apparently they're not now. But anyway, there's a little bit of a crossover connection there with Hot Ones. Sorry, we took way too much time on that. Let's move on. What's next?
From John Lee, I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once last weekend, and it was great.
Awesome.
Hope Michelle Yeoh and Kei Hyun Kwan are, I'm so sorry for butchering that name, and editing get some Oscar love next year.
Editing, absolutely, this film gets an Oscar nomination. Listen, as marvelous and wonderful and fantastic as I think this movie is, I don't know that Michelle Yeoh or Kwan or Jamie Lee Curtis, who's so good in a supporting role in this, I don't know that they're going to get nominated for Oscars themselves, but editing, 1000% this thing needs to get an Oscar nomination. All right, what's next?
All right, from Fifi again, Sonic 2 could be trash and still be better than Sonic 2006 and Shadow the Hedgehog games. LOL. It's very fair.
Never played them. Those not good games?
They're not.
No, not good? All
He
right.
doesn't like him.
We'll take your word for it. All right, what's next?
From Tim, Erased is amazing. Thanks for the recommendation, Chris. Did you see the live action version also?
What is it?
So Erased is this amazing time travel kind of murder mystery anime. It's just one season. It's fantastic. And apparently there's a live action version of it, which I don't know if I want to see that, but if it's good,
Wow,
I'll
that's
check
cool,
it
though.
out.
All right, what's next?
All right, from My Comic Planet again. Chris Rock's comedy tour sales have skyrocketed since the incident. Yeah, I think he's gonna be okay.
I almost made that an off the top today. I saw that in Variety because when I was playing poker this weekend at a casino in Palm Springs called Agua Caliente, they had Chris Rock was coming to Agua Caliente to do stuff. I thought, I bet that's going to be a hot ticket. And then today, then everything at the Oscars happened. It's like, and now apparently the shows are like, I mean, they're already selling good, but like they're having to add new dates because everything is like
Wow.
completely selling out now as a result of what happened at the Oscars. So good for Chris Rock, man. All right, what's next?
Casey Mack saw The Lost City the other night. Overall, I thought it was a nice little adventure comedy movie. Brad Pitt was in this movie longer than I thought.
Completely agree. I mean, it's not going to end up in my top 15 films of the year, but it's a nice, entertaining little bit of movie going. It's nice. I liked it. It's totally worth your time to go and see. And you're right, Brad Pitt was in it longer than I thought he would be. He really was. All right, what's next?
From Ryan Trabucco. Hi, John and crew. Didn't get a chance to write in yesterday, but I upgraded my Patreon to the channel membership.
Nice.
Excited for Moon Knight tonight. Hopefully y'all have a great day and a great week.
And by the way, Ryan tipped in like $20 for that.
Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan, for supporting our channel on that level, man. I mean, again, I'm giddy. It's been a while because, you know, I didn't like Hawkeye. There were episodes I liked, but I didn't like Hawkeye. Book of Boba Fett, I was disappointed. Didn't hate it. Didn't hate Book of Boba Fett. It had some good things in there. Some good episodes. The Bryce Dallas Howard episode in particular was fantastic. But overall, whatever. It's been a beat since I've been stoked for game day. Like, it's been a beat since that. So I'm so looking forward to tonight. I know Ray's going to be making up some Chef Pleasure food. We got Ryan, my buddy Ryan's going to come over here. I think Ann's even going to stay up for it. And I'm all excited for it tonight. I'm so stoked, man. All right, thanks for writing that in, Ryan. Okay, what's next?
From Manny Garcia. Hey, John, I wrote a few days ago it was my wedding day. Well, now we are on our honeymoon in Maui. Oh, that's right, too. No worries, my new wife loves to watch the show, too. We actually went to your Batman screening. Thanks.
They should go visit Ezra
Oh,
Miller
you
in
guys were
jail.
there at the Batman screening?
I think I remember that.
Now I think I remember them. All right, let's get into therapy with John Campea. Marriage therapy with John Campea. I'm going to tell you a little something about communication in marriage. There are going to be some times that your wife tells you that something is okay. You need to see beyond that veil and understand that maybe it's not. And that maybe you shouldn't. And your wife just wants to know if you're going to be smart enough to figure it out for yourself. There are many times in my marriage, but Ann gets upset at something like, baby, you said it was okay. Well, you didn't really think I thought it was okay, did you? Oh, okay, so we all have that. And maybe watching something even as glorious as the John Campea Show on your honeymoon might not be the best investment in the long-term prospects of your marriage. Just a little bit, but honestly, happy wedding and marriage to you guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic honeymoon. Thank you for being at our Batman screening, and we hope to hear from you still happily married many more times.
Wait, John.
Uh-oh.
It's time for me to tell him why he shouldn't get married.
But they are married.
Oh, too late.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I have a funny why you shouldn't watch TV on your honeymoon story.
Okay.
So it rained a whole bunch while we were in Maui. So every now and then we just pop on the TV, right? Every time we turned the TV on, my ex-boyfriend's Domino's commercial ran.
Oh, dear.
So we saw my ex Ben every time we turned on the TV, and Logan each time would just be like, "This motherfucker again!" It was ridiculous. So turn the TV off, stick to YouTube. You're fine that way.
By the way, if they're on Maui, if I can give a suggestion, go to Haleakala, go up to the crater and go down into the sliding sands. It's awesome.
Can I tell you another story that I totally shouldn't tell?
Oh.
Yeah.
Totally should not tell this. Speaking of things that aren't a great idea. So I dated this girl, really cool girl. I dated this girl back in Canada, right? And it was a good breakup. It was all good.
It was a good breakup.
No, like it was.
Sometimes their time's up. Sometimes their time's up.
Working like
Oh,
this. It's all
okay.
good. Like it wasn't
Okay.
an angry breakup. It was a good breakup. It was good. And so we kept in touch just on social media, whatever. We never talked or anything, but we just every once in a while keep in touch social media. So years and years go by. Ann and I get married, and this girl that I had dated, and we were still friends, but she writes that her and her fiance were going to come and visit California, and would it be cool if they crashed with us? In hindsight, it's not a good idea to ask your wife if your ex-girlfriend can come and stay with you, but I wasn't, thinking clearly. So
And
I
you're
asked,
giving marriage advice to
yeah, and
people
here I
live.
am giving marriage advice.
Okay.
So I asked Ann if it'd be cool if her and her fiance, they come and crash here because they want to come visit California, want to keep it as cheap as possible. And I was actually like super cool about it. I said, yeah, that'd be great. Like, so great. So they came and stayed with us. We had a really good time. So then they leave, right? And a week later, Ann sees, because Ann had added her on social media as well. Ann sees a picture she put up on social media of her and her guy. And Ann goes, John, can you come here a second? I'm like, sure. So I go in and look at the picture. I'm like, yeah, that's her and her guy. She goes, I don't think that's the same guy. This fiance. I don't think that's the same guy. And I look at it, it's like, well, he looks a little different, but it's gotta still be him, right? So it wasn't still him. 3 days after they left, the fiance found out that she had been messing around on him with his best friend and roommate, and she left him. Her and the best friend roommate eloped and got married a few days later.
That's so juicy.
That is a
Oh my
story
gosh.
that can only happen in real life. So that's our little
Wow.
story about, maybe not the best marriage moves.
Lord.
Anyway.
Goodness
And
gracious.
there's that.
John,
Does she have any sisters?
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird story. That's all. This is a fun little story. Crazy things happen in California.
That's wild.
All right, what's next?
This is a
I
great.
love 7-Elevens.
You and I both, buddy. You and I both.
All right, what's
Ahmed.
next?
Ahmed says, that was fucking diabolical. Butcher's accent. LOL.
I love that word. When Ray said that the other day, I nearly died. But yeah, that is a classic Butcher word. Diabolical. All right, what's next?
From Dante Serecchia. Hi, Campea campers. Just happy to be a new member.
Oh, thank you, man.
All the love, the best, and the filthy.
And you know what? Here's the thing. So I gave a big speech about our Patreon supporters before, because we've had a Patreon campaign ever since we launched the John Campea YouTube channel. When I left to become solo, and we only survived this long and were able to do what we did because of our Patreon supporters. And I gave this big speech about this weeks ago. But the thing is, memberships actually allow us to actually have some cool things for the people who are members. With Patreon, and I talked to our Patreon supporters about this many months ago, but it was just so difficult to try to do special things for our Patreon members, right? And I talked to our Patreon members, and they were all just like, hey, no, John, we just want to support the show, and that's great. But like, we couldn't have exclusive streams for our Patreon members because YouTube just doesn't work that way. We had to do like as unlisted videos, but then the link would get out and nothing was exclusive anymore. We just had a hard time making it worthwhile. So with YouTube memberships, there's actually some fun, tangible benefits you get from being a member. And that's why we are switching everything over from Patreon. And at the end of this month, we're going to be closing down our Patreon. But that's why we moved on to the memberships. And I'm glad to see people already having fun with it in the live chat. And I know I'm already having fun with it. So very cool. So thank you for coming on over for that, Dante. We appreciate that. All right, what's next?
From J Master. Hey, John, yesterday I became a member at the producer level.
Woo, thank you, man.
Been watching your show since 2019. Also, have you seen the trailer for Ice Age Scrat Tales short series? Happy Moon Knight game day.
First of all, thank you for becoming a producer. That's our highest level thing. So thank you for becoming a producer level member of that. That's awesome. I'm not impressed with what I've seen. Then again, nothing about Ice Age has been good since the first Ice Age. I mean, I've always liked the little squirrels. That's Scrat?
That's Scrat, yeah.
I've always liked the squirrel and all the little shorts they've done, like him trying to get that damn acorn.
Yeah.
I love it, but that's the only real thing. But I'm not impressed by what I've seen so far, but it might be great. Have you guys seen it at all?
I haven't seen
No.
this trailer at all.
I haven't seen it at all.
It's on the radar now, though.
But it's on people's radars because Jay put it on people's radars. All right, thanks for that, man. And again, thank you for being one of our new members, dude. All right, what's next?
From CJ Rebirth. Would love if you guys did a movie club on Aliens. Rewatched it last year and still enjoyed it. Also was surprised to find out James Horner did the music because I heard familiar notes from Jumanji.
I 100% guarantee you Aliens is going to be a movie club.
I haven't seen
I've
it.
never seen Aliens.
What?
I didn't see
Yeah.
Alien until they showed it at Cinespia a couple years
Never.
ago.
Wow.
It is, I think, the second best action film of all time.
I just rewatched
No,
it with
it's
our friend.
not.
yeah.
Yes, it is, dude.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah.
Balls of Fury, baby. I'm sorry.
I just rewatched it with our friend Connie.
Really?
Yeah, she came over and watched it.
Wait, is that the
She'd
first
never
in the
seen it
series?
either.
Second.
Second in this. What was the first one?
Alien.
Alien with
Yeah.
singular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aliens, I think it's the second greatest action film of all time. It's, dude, now we should do it next week. We'll decide it right now. Next week's movie club is going to be Aliens. I cannot wait. I gotta, yeah. So there you go. CJ.
Oh, you know what's
Are we going
crazy?
to watch the theatrical or the director's cut, John?
Well, it's always theatrical. Always theatrical.
You know what's crazy? Is Man of Steel. You have to pay to watch that everywhere right now. So I found it for $6 at Walmart, and I did it for everyone.
You got physical media of it.
Isn't it HBO Max?
Well, I didn't bother. I didn't bother to check because I just Google search the movie when I plan to watch it, and it'll usually have a list of everywhere it's available.
It's probably on
Every
HBO
place
Max.
was $3.99, and I said $4
To rent
for
it.
digital, or go down the street and get a physical for $6.
But you only got a DVD?
And I got the Blu-ray.
You could have just come over and watched it on HBO for free.
Nah, but it's just like Rob,
yeah,
you
you
should
got
be
your-
proud of me.
I am very proud of you. I'm very proud of
I
you.
will never use that Blu-ray again, but you should be proud of me.
Well, you can have John watch the special features on that Blu-ray.
I don't
use
think
it as
there
a
is any special feature.
Come on.
All right,
It's $6.
we need to keep going here. What's next?
From Fifi, kind of sad there's no Birds of Prey 2 coming out, so I cannot watch it and go watch Sonic 2 like everyone did in 2020. LOL.
Is that what it was? Did Sonic and Birds of Prey come out at the same time?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. God, that is the one DC movie I did not like.
Don't remember that. I like that one.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
I'm
got a
glad
banging
you did.
soundtrack.
I'm glad you did. I watched because I love Ewan McGregor and I really like her. Margot Robbie is
Margot
Harley
Robbie.
Quinn.
Yeah.
And I love Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Rosa Perez in there. I love it. I love it.
All right, what's next?
Mark Netto, too soon for the panicked woman on airplane.
Oh, yeah. That is one of the great scenes in movie history where there's the big, huge lineup of people. Bring yourself together. If you're talking about for Morbius, it might be the absolute appropriate time for that kind of
Oh
panic.
no.
Little bit kind of very, very much time for that kind of panic, Mark, unfortunately. We'll find out this week. Finding out this week. All right, what's next?
Blue Rock. Rob, only 7 days till Star Trek The Motion Picture Director's Cut 4K.
You know, I got an invitation for Monday to go to a screening of the Star Trek, the original motion picture thing at the Paramount lot, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
You were going to be at that.
I don't want anyone at Paramount to know that, though.
Oh, you're afraid of getting your invitation revoked?
Yeah, I mean, I was pre-blocked by Star Trek on Paramount Plus, even though Star Trek The Motion Picture is my favorite Star Trek movie, and it might just be, for me, John, the most exciting movie release of 2022.
Well, if it's your favorite Star Trek movie, I can totally imagine that it would be. All right, what's next?
From Ahmed, is Anthony Mackie leaving Cap as he is busy?
No, I don't think
No.
so. Listen, actors can make 6, 7, 8 movies a year if they want. So no, that's not going to be a problem at all. All right, what's next?
Out of time 1985. So my dad was watching The Godfather and found a weird connection to him. During the Don't Forget the Cannoli scene, when they just where they just get in the car, an address is mentioned. That address, per my dad, is where my grandfather lived.
Oh,
the
wow.
exact number, street, and name, and it being in New York City. So my grandpa's address is in The Godfather.
Okay,
Wow.
see, if that were me, I would make a big deal out of that.
Yeah.
I would make a plaque that goes on the front of my house. I would do all that kind of stuff to say, this is the address mentioned in that. That is a
Yep.
really cool little
That's really
connection
cool.
there at a time. That is awesome. Especially if we told that around the 50th anniversary of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So that is great. Thanks for sharing that, dude. I love hearing little stories like that. All right, what's next?
From Suthius, Toreto meter is how you measure films. So instead of a tomato meter, it's you, Ray.
A Toreto meter.
Toreto, man.
yeah.
It sounds too close to Dominic Toretto.
Dominic Toretto.
So if a movie's about family, it's good.
I don't want to be.
Dominic Toretto. All right, what's next?
From Manny Garcia, thanks again. So we always watch the show during breaks in our travel adventures. And yes, we definitely brought the filthy on our honeymoon. Cheers.
Right.
Oh.
You know what we had on this show, pictures or it didn't happen.
Ew.
All right, look, again, time
You guys,
time
come on.
for therapy. Time for therapy, marriage therapy with John Campea. There are certain things you do not share with the world if you want a long, fruitful, and healthy marriage. But congratulations nonetheless. All right, what's next?
From David, I know little to nothing about Moon Knight in general, but I'm so excited. Hoping it raises the bar back up to WandaVision and Loki levels.
Let's just stick with Wanda levels.
Yeah, I mean, that's. Yeah.
I would like it to exceed the Loki levels.
I just want to see it well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be good. I mean, like again, I don't go into these things needing it to be the greatest thing ever. Just be good. Just be good and entertaining. I'll be totally happy.
John. Great.
Nah, just be good.
Tony the Tiger, that stuff.
Anyway, I think there's only one thing left, is
Yep.
there not?
It's just Lord Thunder sending in an almost $20 super chat. Thank you, Lord Thunder.
Thank you, Lord Thunder, for supporting us on that level. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making this show part of your day. A big special thank you to all you guys who sent in those super chats. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. But number two, you supported this channel as you did it even while you're on your honeymoon. And all of us here involved with the John Campea Show, thank you guys so very much for your support. I want to thank the people sitting around the room here. We got Robert Meyer Burnett, we got Ray Ora, we got Chris Carr, and you got me, your host, John Campea. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. My name's John Campea, and until next time, my friends, bye-bye.